allow the two children to attend the budget every year.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Mayegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power. Over naira, still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you ladder, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rájò. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Àní ẹ̀sùn rájò. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Àní ẹ̀sùn rájò.
Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Amegu live. Crazy. Thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are tuning in. Listen, after reading the caption of this broadcast, you are cordially advised, respectfully advised, to read the description of the broadcast as well. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, your frenemies. Tell them that Amegu today, and then sit back, relax, while I unpack the entire package for tonight. So we are starting with these sad stories, which has received near zero reportage in Nigeria media, unfortunately. The first is the killings reported in Kauru local government area of Kaduna. In the last 4 days, people from this following, I want to bring them up, right? People from this following communities, families from these communities like Lakada, Kakure, Kadi, Fadan Ruruma, and Densa areas of Kauru local government area of Kaduna State. They have been under the barrage of the Fulani terrorists who have laid siege to these communities and ransacked them. Not only that they have killed 9 people confirmed, currently they have also kidnapped 17 people, have been kidnapped and taken away. Their whereabouts is unknown, and these communities, they have become desolate. I actually tried to look at the area up in the, in the Google Earth, my usual way of trying to check out what it is like. How is it so convenient for terrorists in this part of Nigeria to succeed in ransacking communities and without what you can call, help from the security agency? So this is what I found. This is what the Kauru local government area actually looks like. All right. And and if you place the topography of the area, so to say, so the densely populated parts, and then the other communities who are like at the fringes, like at the fringe of the local government, right? So easy come, easy go, and the other areas are pretty much like, and most of them ungoverned, unmanned. So these people, you see, this is why it is kind of like easier, if you want to put it that way. Nigerian security agents or the Nigerian government, they have done so well. We have to give it to them, especially under this Tifnumbu. They have done so well enough, right, to make sure that the news like this, they do not make it to the general public, talk less of the international community. But the level of insecurity under this Tifnumbu's regime is so like alarming. Just a week or 2 ago, the Kaduna State governor celebrated the it wasn't even surrendering, right? It was like celebrated the repentant terrorists of his own state, the terrorists who have kidnapped, who have raped, who have killed, you know, hundreds and thousands of people within that Kaduna state. Suddenly, they said that they swore by the Holy Qur'an that they won't do it again. And therefore, they received the government amnesty. Meanwhile, this is just a smoke screen, like a smoke and mirror, right? It is just to cover up other things, whereby if you report any act of terrorism in Kaduna State, you will be tagged an alarmist. Because the impression they want to give is to say everything is fine. It may not be as horrible as it was under hellfire. But others will tell you that, well, it is the same. The difference is that lesser and lesser people are interested in reporting what is going on in this part of Nigeria. And they may be right. But somehow, when this Tifnumbu's illegitimate government came in, they instructed the media houses that they should not report anything that has to do with the atrocities of the Fulani terrorists, Boko Haram terrorists, and other terrorists operating in that contraption. According to them, this kind of onslaught on their media started all the way back from Boko Haram's time, but specifically under this Tifnumbu, they were told that their reportage is demoralizing the soldiers, and therefore, right, they shouldn't report about all this. So that simply means that the people who have become victims and those that will still become victims of terrorism in Nigeria, right, they are on their own. Because if you dare go out to say, oh, here we are victims of Fulani terrorism, or victims of Lakada, or victims of Boko Haram, the system has been sort of rigged enough to kind of like treat you with disbelief. And if you insist, you will be treated as an alarmist, and you may even be arrested or silently killed by them as well. Same thing happened before I even get to Ebonyi. So I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, when one Machala Bugaje, one of the alleged most wanted but most notorious terrorists, Fulani terrorists from this northern part of Nigeria, recorded a video of himself and his fellow terrorists and published it on social media that is also embracing amnesty. And he was willing, as part of the deal, to release at least 50 Nigerians that he has that are in his captivity, that were kidnapped by him. He's not releasing all of the victims, though. He's releasing 50 as a bargaining chip. So I don't know if they've taken him up on his offer or not. But when you hear the word Fulani terrorists and how the terrorists actually operate, sometimes it's just going to sound more or less like, it's going to sound to you like a fiction. Because sometimes you can't imagine that, is there any security sort of a system in that country that terrorists have become so established? They have become so established that if you cross their territory, you are gone. Nigeria won't come and look for you. And if you come back alive, well, maybe you still probably have some purpose, or what have you left on earth. It is a trip or a territory. Their territories are more or less like territories of possible no return. They live like kings. They worship. They organize a community sort of address about areas where they have conquered. Nigerian government gazetted those areas in their own book. They call them ungoverned areas. Areas that the terrorists have more or less like declared independence from Nigeria. So this Machala Bugaje guy was seen 2 days ago. No, Monday. Okay, it was on Friday, probably 3 days ago, right? He hasn't been apprehended. We haven't seen this handover of Nigerians he kidnapped, but he is still there with all his weapons and his fighters and what have you. And guess what? They were having Friday Jumat prayer. I can't even have the video. So I'll show you this. This is just so you know what it looks like. The life of the terrorists in Nigeria. How they are not hiding. That's another thing. The military may be giving you the impression that they are bombing these parts or they are shooting them in this side just to kind of like oil their own propaganda machine, because they are also running PR now. Nigerian soldiers, Nigerian army running PR online to make them act or appear like they were actually capable of protecting you, but they are not. Machala and his other terrorist gang, just about 3 days ago. If you ask them, what exactly are these guys fighting for? But they are terrorists. On the one hand, they will tell you that they are fighting for an Islamic state, which means Nigeria must become an Islamic state. And slowly but surely, Nigeria will become an Islamic state. So in their effort of turning Nigeria to Islamic state, they turned on innocent people, ransacking villages, slaughtering and butchering people, innocent people, then kidnapped as many of them as they want. And in all of this, Nigeria has no plan of protecting our citizens. No plan. Very unfortunate. So similarly, just yesterday, right, in a community called, I want to kind of like get the name right. It's called Amegu Nkalaha community of Ishelu local government area of Ebonyi State, where the Fulani terrorists again laid siege. And their own story is a little bit kind of like extra, because the surviving, or let me say the survivors from the attacks in this community last night, they have been aware of the gathering of these Fulani terrorists around their community. The young people in this area, even the elderly in the area, they put together, and in an effort of trying to kind of like chase away these murderous terrorists from their communities, they said Nigerian army came to the rescue of this would-be terrorists by scaring off the people of this community from, they said they shouldn't start any communal war. That's what they called it. Meanwhile, they have been suspecting these terrorists, the Fulani terrorists within their, around their border. So yesterday, from early in the morning, right, the terrorists, they struck. And from the reports, they have already killed 16 people. You with me? 16 innocent people have been slaughtered by this invading Fulani terrorist. Yeah, their state governor, Ruruma, whatever his name is called, has come out to say, now that the deed is done, okay, he came out there to say they are going to find the perpetrators. But guess what? Hundreds of people have had to run away from their community, from their homes. Those who could carry pots, carry stove, a little food, and they have now become refugees in the neighboring community in Ebonyi State, in eastern part of Nigeria. This was last night. So same way, where is my Google app? Just one sec, okay? Amegu Nkalaha, that's the name of the community. I want to put it on and show you. And the, what do you call it? The local government area is called Ishelu local government area of Ebonyi State. I remember during the Devulumayi time as the governor of Ebonyi, right? It was this kind of killings as well that took place. And Devulumayi, who was on hand, give me a second, let me put this. All right, I think the whole thing was like a bit acting up, okay? So sorry about that. It should be fine after this. Now, this is what my Google Earth shows me about this community as well. And here, one sec. So similarly, right? It is not a very massive local government area, if you put it right. However, let me see if I can have the 3D street view for it, so that that will give us a bit of topography. Like that means the area, what the area seems like, So again, it is to take advantage of it does help, right? So because the moment they strike and attack like that, right? So they can easily just jump back into the forest. So in this community, they have killed, it's been recorded, they have killed 16 innocent people. Again, this Fulani terrorist. Now, it's not making it right to what do you call it, to their main media, surely, because the agenda is to make so that if Numbu and his gang won't look bad, they won't look bad, and until people become victims, which I actually do not really wish on even the worst of your enemies, if you can imagine having enemies, right? the level of the terrorism that people have been subjected to, and then the expected, I don't even know if people expect that anyway, but the expected protection from your own government, which is totally missing, it makes the matter worse. Kind of like people are just sitting duck, waiting to become victims. So any effort, according to the people from that community, they said they did make efforts, made move to prevent this kind of attacks. But the Nigerian army, the military, came to their communities, took away their weapons, for those who had weapons, and then warned them seriously to not trigger any form of what they call it, like tribal clash. So the other part of their media they actually reported it as herdsmen versus the people of this community. And my question is this: if the clash, as they usually love to describe it, right? The clash was between the herdsmen and these communities. How come that herdsmen that were supposed to have come from, like, where? From Futa Sorrow, Futa Gallon, Abi Futa, Futa dipshit that they come from, right? So if you can imagine the distance between Ebonyi and Futa Sorrow in the Sahel, we are talking about over 1,000 kilometers apart. So how could people who invaded the community succeeded in killing the people in that community, 16 of them, then displacing hundreds of them as well? How can you call that clash? How did the people of this community, how did the people of Amegu Nkalaha, how did they clash with herdsmen in their homes? How? Like, how do you clash with people in your own home? How do you clash with people on your own farm? Like, it's your farm. So anybody who trespass to your farm, they are the ones who have come onto your farm. So how do you clash with? And then when you clash, how come that it is the indigenous people in their own communities, that are always recording casualties? It is unfortunate. I hear that, the Ebonyi State governor, Abina government, says that they are going to find the perpetrators. No, you won't. No, you are not going to find them. Because this is just like a medicine after death. Every now and then people will say people should defend themselves. People should defend themselves. But in reality, the entire system that is rigged against you prevents you from fighting for yourself or defending yourself. So the ideal thing is probably to just do it. If I have an advice to give, and if my advice will count, right? For the communities who have the presence of all these terrorists hanging about and you're seeing them, and somehow, in some areas, so if you go to Badagry right now, you will think Badagry is half Fulani, half Yorubas right now. To the point that somebody in that Badagry, who they claim was an Oba, had to kind of like crown a Fulani there as their, what do you call it, their Seriki Fulani. Because according to them, they have so many Fulanis in their forest that for peace to reign, they decided to just make them feel welcomed by appointing one of them as Seriki for peace to reign in your own community, for peace to reign. If not, they believe that they may just wake up one day and start killing them. And they don't want that. They don't want that. So what they want, that's why they are like appointing them as Seriki, giving them titles to make them feel welcomed. Yeah? So my own advice would be, if you have all it takes, if you have all the means, right? There's no point in trying to accommodate those who are still going to kill you anyway. And there's no point in trying to, protest about it. Just do it. Get rid of them from your communities if you have the wherewithal. Do it first and ask questions later. Because there are communities who have discussed this. Look at this community in Ebonyi. They categorically had a meeting, and the able-bodied men in their community, they came together. They gave an ultimatum to these Fulani terrorists that surrounded their community to leave. And then the military came in to warn them to desist. Cease and desist. And then that's it. Yesterday, 16 innocent people, including women and children, were slaughtered by these terrorists. And now the government is, we are going to find them. We are going to bring them to book. No, they are not bringing anybody to book. In another few weeks or in another few months, they're going to strike again. Maybe in another community where they have been locking around as well. You are on your own. In that contraption, everyone is on his own. So if you have what it takes, the ideal thing is just do it and ask questions later. If I can advise. Just a few days ago, again, one mofo who said that the Yorubas fell off for rejecting Sharia. Now they found him, and what it looks like is one of these online Bambi alas. See what the Egbere look like. The one that said that it is time to start a jihad in Yoruba land. Now the mofo be this. And I heard that he also has a link to Rror of Kaduna. This is the mofo from Okun in Kogi, who said his mother is Fulani, his father is Yoruba, and he regrets being a Yoruba. Look at the thing. Look at this thing. The one that want to come and fight a jihad in Yoruba land. Look at him. Look at this. This is how horrible they are. And dark-hearted they are as well. Hiding behind religion and hiding behind their one fake Nigeria to perpetuate their religious agenda and what have you. Look at the thing. Look at him. Yeah? See the thing. That's why I said that if they want to start their jihad in Yoruba land, it will make a bit of a sense, right? If these mofos are allowed to lead it. If somebody like this is allowed to lead it. Yeah? Abayomi. His name is Abayomi. Abayomi something. Let me see the second name. Abayomi. That's the guy who was saying that it is time for jihad in Yoruba land. This thing. So the religion that these guys are hiding behind, which, well, the last time under Bokwari, it was about Ruga, I told you, Ruga, Fulani colony, Katu colony, grazing routes, ranching, waterway bills, and all other nonsense they pushed. But right now, it is Sharia. Their own solution to the problems that Nigerians are facing as we speak, especially the economic ruin that they are currently wallowing in. They have no solution to that. They are not concerned about the insecurity that they have to deal with, the hardship, and all of these things happening in that contraption. But rather, they will push religion. And they will invest so much of their energy in pushing this madness. It's unbelievable. You know? Anyway, yesterday, they released this lie. And it's not really hard to know that it was a lie. I did a piece on it. And this morning, somehow, as, you know, as God will have it, NELFund. This is the agency responsible for disbursing their student loan. So yesterday, Tinubu said that they have disbursed 104 billion naira to 600,000 students in Nigeria. There's no, what do you call it? There's no any record to back it. Do you understand? There is no evidence to back that postulation. But the Ronu coups, the Ronu Nazis, the Ronu bandits, the Ponus, the bad idiots, the bad stats, they were all over the place. According to them, Tinubu has done so much for education which is not true. But again, as you know, if they serve you a loaf of bread, there is a possibility that only 1/5 of that loaf of bread is actually bread. The remainder of it is obviously going to be lies, propaganda. Now, you can use propaganda to probably rig yourself or gain, to get to government. I have said this many times on this platform. You cannot use propaganda to run a country. No, you can't. Anyway, there seems to be a contradiction now. And I am going to just kind of put this out as a rhetorical question. Here, I'm not expecting any answer. According to NELFund, they released a statement. And they said, well, the management of Nigeria Education Loan Fund, NELFund, under the leadership of Akintunde Sawyer, wishes to correct the inaccurate report regarding the total amount disbursed under the student loan scheme. Contrary to claim that over 104 billion has been disbursed to 600,000, it says 600 beneficiaries, 600,000 beneficiaries, the actual figures are as follows. As of February 3rd, today, NELFund has received a total of 364,000 student loan applications. So that means it is pretty much like 60% or 55% of what they claim to have disbursed is actually the number of those who have applied. If this is true, by the way. So far, the fund has disbursed a total of 20 billion naira and 74 million naira for institutional fees. Then another, benefiting 192,906 students. 192,000. That itself means it is only 30% or less than 30% of the 600,000 they claimed are those who have benefited. Now, I said additionally for upkeep, they said they have also disbursed 12.8 billion naira to 169,114 students. So if you add the two disbursements together, so that makes it a 32 billion, right? So 32.9 billion minus 104 billion minus 32 billion. That means there is a missing 72 billion naira in the process of disbursement and what have you. So yesterday, I tried to to do some additions and subtractions. And I said, I don't believe that they have spent more than 20 billion. And I also said, I don't believe they have more than maybe between, at most, maybe 50,000 people have benefited. But according to these guys now, they said, well, a total of 192,000 people benefited, which is a lie in itself. Yeah, there's no evidence of that. But let's work with it. I mean, that is the closest of any available data publicly that we can work with. So who is now lying? Where is the remainder of the money? Because Tinubu categorically said that they have disbursed 104 billion to 600,000 students. I know it's a lie. I know this one that you have on your screen earlier is also a lie. But that doesn't mean that they won't be able to pick out 5,000 or 10,000 people who collected money. And that's all they need. See, Nigeria is so corrupt that about data in Nigeria is, is like a scarce commodity. Therefore, they work or live on unreliable data. If you make efforts to want to verify the data, Baba, you will give up. I mean, I can assure you of that. You will give up. If you make effort to that, I want to verify these things. Oh yeah, please give us the evidence of 192,000 students that collected this money, and their pictures, their names, their schools, their matriculation number and everything. Sure, you get now. Oh yeah, give us one by one, Baba, you will give up. Because at the end of the day, you will barely see 50,000 people. It is the same when Bokwari was there, right? The Ministry of Humanitarian Disaster, Poverty Increment, right? Under Shadia, they were bragging that they were lifting people out of poverty. And there was a time the woman claimed to have shared over 600 billion naira to 11.4 million people. But there was no record. So how did you share 600 billion naira to 11.4 million household? That is running into like about 60 million people. How? How? They said they had something called the National Register. Okay, National Register. Okay, that's fine. Can you show us the register? There was no register. But there were photos, there were pictures of people in Abuja collecting 10,000 naira, 5,000 naira. They took their pictures. And I'm talking about a picture of seeing, let's say, 200 people, 300 people collecting 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira from the minister and her agent. Then they went to Imo State. They went to Ogun State. They were in Lagos. We saw them in Sokoto. We saw them in like about maybe 20 states. And if you put the whole numbers of people there present together, about they no reach 50,000. I'm kind of being generous here now. So you get 50,000 people. These were the people they called from the corner of the streets with the Ghana must go money they brought to the state, and they were sharing the money to them, took their pictures, make some videos, put them online on the websites, and that's it. 600 billion naira gone. So when Tifnumbu and his criminals came in, they had to say they want to do a national register. What happened to the register that Shadia was using? There was no register. So what were you talking about when you said you had registers for poor people? So no, there was no register. We have to develop another register. Develop another register. Guess what? To develop another register under or more better, they had to kind of like loot another 7.8 billion naira. That was what got Omo Better removed though. Better Edu. They were sharing the money just like that. And indeed, their Minister of Finance, what is his name again? Wale Idu, also came out towards the end of last year to say they have shared 25,000 naira each to 15 million household. When we did the math, that was like a 625 billion naira. It's okay, show us the proof of how you shared the money. There is no proof. What about the money? The money was gone. Gone. So this one is also like a job for the boys. Do they have people who apply for the loan? Of course, yes. Do they have 192,000 people that collected the money? No, there is no evidence. There's absolutely no evidence. But if you push them and say, show us, they will show you maybe 10,000, 20,000 people. They will even make them, they will ask them to make videos. Can you watch videos of 20,000 people? Can you? Can you watch 20,000 videos? They know you can't, or you won't. This is how they run their scheme, their scam in that contraption. That is why they run more on propaganda. Because, yeah, propaganda lange. Say, about the grow fat in this Nigeria, how you they do it? Say about propaganda with the chopper. You know? Tifnubu and his gang. So if Tifnubu says that they have shared 104 billion to 600,000 students, and the guys in charge, Sawyer, says they've only shared 32 billion. So that means 72 billion is missing. Right? So somebody else to kind of like push that out. Remember this guy? His name is Usman Yusuf. He's one of the modern day critic. He was very critical of Bokwari too, but he's also the guy that followed Sheikh Osama bin Gumi to Yoruba land to come and mock us, right? You know, I don't know if you remember that video. Anyway, he's been very vocal. His last public appearance, talking about the state of Nigeria, right, has ended in an arrest. And according to the EFCC, they said that when I think it was the secretary or the director or so of the NHIS, Nigeria's health insurance scheme. So they said he awarded the contract of 38 million naira to his maybe his family member, and that one didn't do the contract. So because of that 38 million naira is now standing trial for corruption. But others are saying, no, that's not the reason why he's been picked up. They said it is because he has been very, very vocal. The last video, the last public appearance of his that seemed like controversial was this one.
And no organization should be allowed to bring crowd without ways of controlling that crowd. It's common sense. It's as simple as that. You do not assemble a huge crowd without finding ways to protect how to control that crowd. So for us to even say that the government 2025, no, we don't want to see this nonsense in 2025. We don't want to have to be distributing palliatives to our people in 2025. Mr. President, take care of this economy. The inflation is runaway inflation, 34 point something. Food inflation is 40%. The price of a bag of 50 kilos of rice is over 90,000. What are you doing to bring it down? No, what are you doing to give us palliatives? We are better than this. That's not why we voted you in. Medicine Sans Frontier has been raising alarm of severe malnutrition in this country, particularly in the Northwest. 3 towns in the Northwest, Jibia, Mashimani, 30% of the children are severely malnourished. The story is the same all across this country. From Abia to Zamfara, there is hunger in the land. Mr. President, wake up. Stop everything and feed our people. I've said this 10 months ago, and we are seeing this. And World Health Organization said the severe malnutrition, severe food shortage will worsen from November 2024 to May 2025. We are becoming a country of palliatives. No nation can be run on fumes of palliatives and deception. Rice, 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 rice. Whatever happens, the president will write rice. And what happens that the politicians will hide this rice or take it to the market or rebrand it and put their pictures and take it for their campaigns. Now they are bringing it out for Christmas, and they'll wait in March to bring it out for Ramadan, and then they'll wait to bring it out for their campaigns. For goodness sake, what kind of leaders do we have? If we as citizens cannot hold them responsible and think it is okay for them to be doing this when our people are getting hungry, they are buying SUVs of 170, 180 million. What kind of human beings are? Mr. President, if your advisors are not telling you the truth, There is hunger in the land. Our people are dying of hunger, predominantly women and children, all across this country. And all this expensive governance you are doing is contributing to this. High corruption, inflation is out of control. Your economic team are not able to control inflation. We cannot continue with palliatives into 2025. What are you doing? You're doing nothing. Look at the budget. Oh, the military takes a big budget. Is the military going to fight hunger in this country? Hunger is a national security emergency. I've said it again and again. Buying Tucano jets or guns or tanks will not fight hunger. And no military, no police can quell the anger of a hungry citizenry. And this is what we are seeing. We've been raising our voices. And I call on our clerics of both faiths. God Almighty has given you the pulpit to speak the truth. The truth is there is hunger in the land. And you should speak the truth because God Almighty will ask you, did you do that? Our leaders do not listen to us. So they're just living a life of deception when our people are dying of hunger. Women and children, predominantly women and children, the aged and the poor. They are the ones who bear the brunt of these misguided economic policies, World Bank engineered policies. They are the ones that are bringing us all of this. So for us to say anything else is deceiving ourselves. We're deceiving ourselves. Mr. President, your policies are causing death in this country, and you need to review that. End of story.
Professor Usman Yusuf, many of these victims were reportedly children, and I'm sure you have your thoughts on the demographic characteristics of these victims. We'll talk about women and children. We saw some of them. But again, the short and long-term psychological impacts of the stampede on the victims or their families and the wider community, what do you think about that moving forward?
Right. Our people are already traumatized all across this country. Our people are walking like zombies. People are hungry. People do not have anything to eat. Out-of-school children increasing exponentially. Many children that went to tertiary institutions are not going back. If you don't correct the primary problem, we're just going round and round and round and round. It's the failed economic policies of this country, of this president, of this government that is causing this. And it's going to worsen. We've been raising our voices for the president and his advisors to hear because they are not telling him the truth. They are saying all is well. All is not well. Hunger is a national security emergency that this government is taken for granted. All countries in the world, serious democracies know that. That is why the cost of food is very low. That's why there's no tax on food. But here we are. Hunger has been imposed on us by this government. You're overtaxing us. And there is no light at the end of the tunnel for people. And you're asking us to be patient, to be patient, to be patient. I'm a doctor. I write a prescription. Patient is having a problem. You revise that prescription. Mr. President, whatever prescription you got from the World Bank is killing our people. And you need to go to them to tweak this policy. It's not working. It's killing our people. Hyperinflation has eaten into the wealth of our people. People cannot buy food. People are hungry. People are dying. World Health Organization and Medicine Sans Frontières have been raising the alarm, and we have been doing the same. I've been here before with graphics showing the president, showing the world that there is hunger in the land, as we would see in the Sudan, in Darfur, or Yemen, in this our land of plenty, where you see trillions budgeted for this nonsense, that nonsense, this nonsense. We are saying this because the anger of hungry citizenry cannot be contained by any military. Mr. President, wake up.
Anyway, it was in court today for what is called the abuse of office, awarding contracts to family members when it was the NHIS director. And I bet this was under Bukwari as well, I think. So in court today. I mean, there's something, right, about these northerners, all right? There seems to be, all of them seems to be like thieves. Even though he has his own supporters who are like, this guy, as the director of the NHIS, he had the privilege, right, of signing billions of naira contracts, right? So now they are trying him for 38 million naira. So it's like, that's so small of a money to be stolen. You know, Nigerian, like they love their own thieves differently, sure you get. So don't be surprised by that, right? But if you look at those who were appointed from northern Nigeria, especially the ones that just the immediate past ones under Bukwari, like 100% of them were thieves. All of them were thieves. Tunde Sabitu, Bukwari's personal secretary, Ashishe Bukwari, give me their names. This one was one of them. You have Malamu, you have Adisirika, you have Shadia. Like, these northerners were like born thieves. But the South, or the Southerners, are believed to be corrupt people. Have you kind of like noticed? Like, these are Ogolobo thieves, like criminals. Go. Sure you get? Like, every position given to them, all of them, or not any one of them spared. They robbed the country. And I'm not trying to kind of be like, this is what I'm saying, it's not to spare or to kind of like, I'm not trying to make those from the South look like they are better. No, they are not better off. I'm just saying that there is this level of stereotyping in Nigeria that will make you believe that northerners, they are religious. They are honest. It's a stereotyping shit, oh, sure you get. Because Southerners, they are very flashy. They are very smart. But Southerners are not as smart as they are. I'm talking about looting of billions to trillions of naira. Like it's nothing. And the money will disappear from the entire system. Using their banks, using their bureau de change, the money will disappear like that. So if any of them is called upon, when you look at him, you'll be like, now this one. Remember the former Accountant General of Nigeria that stole, what is that guy's name from Kano? The one that stole 198 billion naira. If you look at the guy, Mukhtar or something, that's his name, under Bukwari. Like when they loot, even fear go catch you. I say, how did you do it? And then you will look at them, you look at the person that just looted. Look at the Sanusi, he's also a criminal, a thief. He was about to be jailed. He was to be sacked, arrested, and jailed. When Kwakwan Sop quickly made him emir of Kano. So that if you come for him, if Jonathan came for him then, it would have turned to the North versus Jonathan. He eventually turned to that anyway. Over 100 billion naira mismanaged in the Central Bank of Nigeria. And what did he do? He just dropped the bombshell that NNPC has failed to remit $50 billion. So everybody just forgot about his own stealing, his own loots and all that. They started holding it. Well, 50 billion. Then he changed it, 35 billion. Then he changed it again, 20 billion. How much is missing? $12 billion. And that was how, plus other propaganda against Jonathan that time. That was how everything and everybody associated with Jonathan were considered thieves, Ogolobo thieves. Meanwhile, this guy was being investigated for mismanaging and looting over 100 billion naira. Sanusi Emir of Kano, admin. When they loot, Baba, they loot like, say, do you know how much Shadia looted? Under Shadia, the Ministry of Humanitarian Disaster, Poverty Management, on record, they said they disbursed over 4 trillion naira. 4 trillion naira, Baba. Who they give the money to? A court ruled that Shadia must refund. Yeah, a court ruled last year that Shadia must refund nearly 1 trillion naira as looted money. Do you know that till today, 9 naira she hasn't returned? 9 naira she has not refunded. But if you look at Shadia, you'll be like, now this woman looted over 1 trillion naira. How? Where is the money? Go and look at Addis Sirika. Addis Sirika stole over 200 billion naira on this fake Nigeria Air nonsense alone. Addis Sirika stole over 72 billion naira. 72 billion. But if you look at Addis Sirika right now, you will see him with a YBA, you will see him with a Tesbiu, and he will be shouting Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Yeah? Like when they loot, Baba, it's like, Nigeria. Northerners, the greatest criminals in Nigeria. Yeah? Once the money gathered like that, they loot it. Then somehow, the stereotype makes you believe that the Southerners are, they are the smartest. Boki no to get sense. Northerners no too smart. Or they, who? The real economic saboteur of Nigeria, they are Northerners. Yeah, they are. This issue of round tripping that Bokwari used in emptying the Nigeria Central Bank. Who were the beneficiary? Northerners. Those who were using 1984, 1985, for me see something. When Nigeria Naira was 1 naira 50 kobo to $1. They were using that in 2016, 2017 to collect millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. So we've submitted our form for dollar supply since 1986, since 1985. They backdated all of that until they emptied the treasury, until they emptied the Central Bank of Nigeria. Northerners. And the money disappeared in the system. You can't trace it. Gone. As they are looking for Diezani's stolen money, properties all over the world, you can't see the properties of all these looters from northern Nigeria. You can't. Yeah? Bagudu, Abubakar Bagudu, Abacha's bagman, who has given Nigeria. Do you know that guy is a former governor of Kebbi? He is now the minister under Tipnumbu, Minister of National Planning or something. It was, if not because America caught him, arrested him in America in 2001, when he had to sign a deal that it will show them all the places where he kept Abacha money. Nigeria was selling crude oil in the black market because Nigeria became a pariah state that, sanctions were on Nigeria because of Abacha. Guess those who are helping Abacha to sell crude oil of Nigeria money and then moving the money about, these northerners. One of them is Abubakar Bagudu. He's a minister under Tifnubu right now. This guy alone has helped repatriate over $9 billion Abacha money. But not without a deal that gives him 20% of the money. Can you believe that? 20% of any money that he helped to tell them where the money is and they got the money back to Nigeria, they will give him 20%. 20% of that money. Somebody who's supposed to go jail. But he got rewarded. He became a governor, served 8 years, and immediately after that, he is now working with the druggie, Tifnumbu, as a minister. Northerners. You know? So this NHS guy, NHIS guy, somehow, a lot of people were surprised that they are not charging him for stealing maybe 100 billion or 38 million naira or 90 million naira. Somebody said 90 million naira. No, it's 38 million. That's the money. To some, they're like, that's the money you can just pay off and say, yeah, take your money back. Because to them, that's peanuts. Because stealing government money, looting, is like a pastime for them. Number one, you are expected to, anyway. And then if you want to loot, they expect you to loot it like, say, tomorrow, no day. So that when people hear how much you have stolen, right, they will marvel and say, wow. Wow. You have so much money. So I don't get it. And they are upset when they hear that Donald Trump canceled the money through the USAID. You know that a USAID that is meant to be for development all over the world, they have been exposed as using this their $50 billion budget, not only to destabilize countries, right, change government, influence elections, rather than just spend money on development. No, they kind of spend some of this money in looking for oppositions to help remove any governments that they feel, in all over the world, over 100 countries, any government of any country that they feel like is not playing balls with them. Any agenda they are pushing in any of these countries, if they feel like the government in that country is not playing balls, they will use this money, taxpayers' money from America, to fund the opposition and even start protests, riots, revolutions, and what have you. And people won't even know that they are being used. You won't know that they are using you. So this American money, American dollars, has been used to destabilize so many countries in the world. So this is just coming to light. Let me tell you this. It doesn't mean that they have not done anything good. Don't get me wrong. In the course of their existence, they've done good stuff as well. But you see them promoting this seminar here, symposium there, organizing this different talk, gathering and what have you all over the world. And then they are always talking about democracy. So it has now come to light that chunk of the money, $50 billion that they get as their annual budget, chunk of it has been used in changing governments, including Nigeria. Including Nigeria. So maybe Donald Trump is practically doing you a favor, because right now it seems that the USAID is not only going to be defunded, it's going to go into extinct. You understand what I mean? I didn't even know. They said that in Nigeria, for example, they have over 1.9 million Nigerians living with HIV/AIDS. That's scary. And this USAID money has managed to ensure the regular supply of the antiretroviral drugs and, curtailing and controlling it, and which is a good stuff, by the way. South Africa is known to be the headquarters of the HIV/AIDS patients in the entire Africa. But guess what? From what their president just said, Cyril Ramaphosa said, well, now that Donald Trump says he's going to cut all funding to South Africa because of this whatever called retrieval of people's lands and what have you in South Africa, right? So the Cyril Ramaphosa said, well, it's only 17% of the money we spend on what do you call it, on this HIV/AIDS stuff comes from America. The rest is funded by us. So if you stop sending us money, great. In fact, we have it on record that it's only been the highest of money they've ever gotten from America in a single year has been like $300 million, when in their own they are spending more than $800-900 million in their own money on healthcare to support the people living with HIV/AIDS. It's not going to be. But in Nigeria, Baba, it's like 100% of the money that they are supposed to be spending on people living with these diseases, right? This HIV/AIDS, right? It's coming from the USAID. Apart from that, those who have formed different NGOs working with the USAID, they are living so large. Their children are attending these multi-million naira schools. It's like such a free money that the moment the announcement came that they have cut the money, they have cut the funding, there were those on social media ranting, screaming, and now they are telling us that the spread of HIV/AIDS is going to be massive because of this funding. Uhuru Kenyatta disagrees.
I saw some people the other day crying, oh, I don't know, Trump has removed money. He said he's not giving us any more money. Watu wanalia. Why are you crying? It's not your government, it's not your country. He has no reason to give you anything. I mean, you don't pay taxes in America. He is appealing to his people. Shauri yenu bwana. This is a wake-up call for you to say, okay, what are we going to do to help ourselves? Instead of crying, tujiulize, what are we going to do? Haya ametoa hiyo pesa, sasa tutafanya namna gani jameni? What are we going to do? Yeah? To support ourselves. Because nobody is going to continue holding out a hand there to give you. It is time for us to use our resources for the right things. We are the ones who are using them for the wrong things.
You get? Buying yachts, building palaces. I just read that in Rivers State, yeah, Sim Fubara is about to spend 3.5 billion naira to renovate the government house. His residence, where Sim lives, it needs 3.5 billion naira. Last year, he spent 2.7 billion naira repairing the same house in River State. Even though I just read that Tifnubu's regime says they have allocated, they would allocate 4.5 billion naira to support the people living with HIV/AIDS, which is, and guess what? Some of these NGOs, they started crying again. This money can never do it. It won't be enough. Because some of them, they are living the life of being paid in dollars. Okay? They are living large. I'm working with an international agency. I'm working with international agency. My NGO is working with USAID. USAID is also imagine supposed American agency that was supposed to be sharing development all over the world is paying lobbyists in America. Democrat lobbyists and every other lobbyist. They are shouting democracy here and there. Democracy. So what they have to do is just to set up a fake organizations and say they are promoters of democracy for the world, the survival of democracy organization, American for democracy, and this and that, and the USAID will be giving you money so that you can help them to keep lobbying the Congress, lobbying the Senate in America, okay? To keep giving them money that they won't account for. Right now, if you go to the website of the USAID, I think it's probably like closed. There's so much corruption that's now being unraveled. Americans themselves, America government is now saying USAID has disrupted governments or governments all over the world, including Nigeria. They've used American money to destabilize Nigeria, politically, economically, and yet those who are collecting their dollars from the USAID, they are mad that Donald Trump is cutting their feeding bottle. You know? While the criminals in Nigeria continue to live large, they are all living large. They are living like, shit, you get, selling their country up, selling your country to these neo-colonists for peanuts. So that may be a good thing after all, you know. Last 2 weeks, the leaders of Ogoni land, the land where Ken Saro-Wiwa came from and got killed, the Ogoni cleanup, the land where, if you are looking for the textbook definition of environmental degradation, take a tour, or sorry, take a bus and go straight to Ogoni land and go and see how the aquatic life has become so dead, and even the environment itself. I mean, people are actually breathing cancer, so to say. They are eating cancer, they are drinking cancer, they are sleeping cancer, they are breathing cancer due to the oil spillage, gas flaring, and all kind of the environmental destructive, stuff that happens in that place. That they have to stop the oil production in that place. Ogoni is in River State, by the way. So Koolu met with their supposed leaders because they needed to start drilling oil in that place again. And they had to give them something, like an incentive. So the incentive that Tinubu offered them, apart from money, all right, is that it will offer them more money. That's the incentive. Except when they woke up today and they said that Tinubu, like he announced to the people of Southern Kaduna that he was going to give them their own university. Yeah, Southern Kaduna people now have their own university, but it is still it's just in name right now. It's not different from that time when Bokwari and Rotifmi Amechi said they are starting, they were going to start a University of Transportation in Daura. How many of you remember that? University of Transportation in Daura. This was in 2020 or 2021. That's like 4 years ago. I don't know if they are still building the University of Transportation in Daura right now. I don't know. But Tinubu just gave them University of Southern Kaduna. They had a name, but I think it's called Landmark, whatever. I don't know. Something like that. And this was as far back as September last year. Maybe they are building it right now. I don't know. So this morning, Tinubu announced that he is now creating a university, Federal University of Environmental Technology in Ogoni. All right? So as to say, the government is interested in bringing development to Ogoni land. If they carry your university, go Ogoni land, na cancer you go to drink. You don't have water. If they kill any fish in their water, you are eating cancer. I'm not making that up. You just need to visit. All of this is not because they want to bring any development there. Last time, their Pastor Ruga was there in Ogoni. They claimed that they have spent $2 billion on Ogoni cleanup, where they were supposed to scrape the earth, the sand and what have you there. They are supposed to scrape everything. Like, let's say scraping it for like 10 feet. It's like digging, and then you have to bring sand from all over the world and pour the sand there so that can be like a fresh sand across Ogoni land, not the contaminated sand. That never happened. So right now, nobody is even talking about Ogoni cleanup anymore. It is Ogoni University. Koolu. Tell us about it.
The photo session will follow immediately.
Today marks a significant milestone in our national journey towards environmental justice, education, and sustainable development. I have signed into law the bill establishing the Federal University of Environmental Technology. Ogoni has been in the forefront of our development and agitation, and has suffered environmental degradation true enough to bring knowledge into that environment. In that area, to me, is the most significant thing as we've heard from the Ministry of Education. It's more than the creation of a university. It is reaffirmation of our unwavering commitment to the people of Ogoni, the Niger Delta, and the entire nation as a whole. For decades, the Ogoni people have been at the forefront of fight for environmental restoration and sustainable development, shaping both national and global conversation on these critical issues. By signing this bill into law, we are taking a decisive step towards addressing historical grievances and creating new opportunities for learning, growth, and prosperity. The university will serve as a center of excellence, equipping young Nigerians with the knowledge and skill to tackle pressing environmental challenges, drive clean energy solutions, and contribute to our national sustainable economic development. Let me, at this juncture, commend the National Assembly, from the Senate President to the Speaker, for all the members, various committees that have seen through this bill. Let me also commend the Ogoni delegation. Your steadfast advocacy for justice and building the confidence of our people in a peaceful manner is encouraging, and it will be rewarding, I assure you. As we look ahead, I urge all the stakeholders, traditional institutions, the academic community, private sector, and partners, and all other youths to embrace this university as a beacon of knowledge, unity, and progress. Together, we will ensure that it not only fulfills its mandate, but also stand as a catalyst for transformational development across the country. Thank you very much for listening.
Nuisance lele.
That's a Tifnumbu, University of Environmental Technology, Federal University of Environmental Technology. Ah, my goodness. You know, Nigeria is a place where they are not interested in funding education because, like Rufaya put it, Nigeria is being led by illiterates, criminals. So education is not really a priority. It is just for the show off of it, okay? So who won't go to Bola Tifnumbu's University of Environmental Technology? Raise up your hand. Princess. You say register because they need pioneer students. Nobody knows when it's going to kick off, by the way. But yeah, if anybody wants to go and do PhD, you can probably go and do something about the environment, right? In Ogoni. Ogoni, precisely. Scam. We shall be here. Going forward, talking about a scam. Even though they told you repeatedly, like I said before, propaganda can only kind of like help you to some level, but it won't really, do anything all through. So to say, you cannot use propaganda to run a country. That's not how it works. You see, you have to be seen to be doing something substantial, okay? Then you can now mix it with propaganda. In the case of Tifnumbu and his gang, you can see through their lies. Because if you are doing anything right, you see, there is no amount of criticism that can take that away from you. They lied to you about Warri refinery, Abi, Port Harcourt refinery, Abi. Meanwhile, the importation of fuel, PMS, especially to Nigeria. Okay, they have said it. They said the refineries doesn't refine petrol. Since then, bomb, I never heard anything like that before. The refinery is refining from the same crude oil, is only refining diesel and kerosene. They refine PMS. But Nigeria is a place where people have been so browbeaten, they have been so bullied, they have become so traumatized that sometimes, in fact, all the time, even Nigerians want the lies to be true, to the point that it is only in Nigeria, right, that they will see a lie. And because they have been so traumatized, they will begin to have to fight you and say, hey, what if it's true? But it's not true. I know it's not true. I'm just saying that, okay, what if it's true? Money is not true. You just said it. You said it, you know it's not true. Which one is what if it's true? I'm just saying that let us be positive. Let us just pray. Let's pray that it is true. You know the hear word? You just said that you know it's not true. But we should pray that it is true. That's the type of Nigerians you meet. If you have met some of them, they have been so traumatized, Baba, that they want lies to be true. So desperately, enough that they have been lied to so many times that even themselves don't know what is true or what is true anymore. But because of the trauma, they always wish the lie is true. You have to give that to them. Between October 1st, 2024 and December 31st, 2024, Nigeria imported over 3.8 billion liters of petroleum to Nigeria. You heard me right. Billions. And we are talking about billions of dollars worth of petroleum imported to Nigeria. Guess what? 70% of that was kind of like routed via Malta into Nigeria. And then you're like, the time they said Dangote refinery is there, what do you call it? Warri refinery is there, Port Harcourt refinery is there. Shouldn't that have stopped or kind of like end importation of fuel into Nigeria? The truth of the matter is that no matter how many times you wish the lies are true, they can never be true. They can't. Well, where is this guy? I want you to listen to this first, okay? Just a quick one.
Apologies for that. Mr. Kevin Emmanuel is still with us. I mean, I'm not surprised. All refineries, none of it could produce a product for 5 years or more. And we kept maintaining them and running them. Now, we now see 2 refineries owned by the government. They say it's working. But in all of this, what is your assessment since the Dangote refinery kicked off production and started selling locally? And when the government also came on stream to say 2 of our refineries are likely or will be given product out, what has been your assessment so far?
So I thank you so much for having me. It's a privilege to be here. And happy belated New Year to you.
Yes, it is. Second month of the year.
Second month of the year. So I like data, because data is incontrovertible. You can't argue with data, especially when the other side cannot dispute data. Between October 1, 2024 and December 31, 2024, the players in the mid and downstream sector, along with NNPC, imported 3.8 billion liters of PMS into Nigeria.
October?
Between October, that's the Q4 of 2024. Between October 1 and December 31.
That's 4 months ago.
4 months ago. They imported 3.8 billion liters of PMS.
Refined
PMS. Well, it's arguable because, there is proof. There is paper trail to show that about 35 or 40% of that product was actually routed through Malta, through blending. And show as we speak today,
PMS controversial in Malta.
Yes. PMS that is blended in Malta is still being imported into Nigeria, up to about 180,000 metric tons a month. The 3.8 billion liters that was imported within the intervening period is valued at, I would say, about 3.6 trillion naira. So between January 1 and January 29, motor vehicle tanker report shows that 458 million liters of PMS was brought into Nigeria this past month.
Imported.
Refined products.
But
NNPC had 212 million liters of those cargoes. So the question I keep asking, considering that Technimont was the contractor to Port Harcourt Refining Company. Technimont submitted a bid proposal in October 2019 to be the contractor, EPC contractor, to do turnaround maintenance for the Port Harcourt Refinery. And the project award letter is valued at about $1.5 billion. So basically, they collect project award letter from FEC. They didn't have the cash. They pledged Nigeria's crude oil barrels through forward sale agreements, collected cash up front, gave it to a contractor who did turnaround maintenance for a 60,000 barrel per day modular refinery that cannot directly process PMS. The question I keep asking is if you're really processing crude oil into PMS in Eleme and in Warri, why are you importing PMS into Nigeria? With crude oil that is supposed to be sold and sent back to CBN to meet up their balance of payment obligations and stabilize the macroeconomy.
Yeah, Mr. Emmanuel, give me a moment. We need to go on a short break. We'll be right back, everyone.
Even showing how to take a break. Like, are you data? No, see, data don't lie. See, you get. And data stubborn, gone. Oh, look, data, very, very stubborn. You can lie, you can do whatever it is to people and make it look so glamorous. The moment data is presented, to ban mental problem, mental problem, you will continue to actually disagree. Data don't lie. How can you spend over $4 billion in repairing your refineries, and then you turn around and say the refinery doesn't process PMS? Who does that? Does that even make any sense? Does that make any sense to you? Then you have a refinery that you feed crude oil, but it doesn't refine petrol. Then on the other hand, you were busy, NNPC, others, they were busy importing PMS into Nigeria to the tune of 3.8 billion liters. Data don't lie. You know, when things don't add up, they don't add up. There's no amount of, let's give them time. Let us pray. Let us hope. No. If it's blue, it's blue. If it is black, it is black. When it is red, it is red. Oh, I want you to listen more. Please listen more.
Apologies for that. Mr. Kevin Emmanuel is still with us. I mean, I'm not surprised because one will imagine, excuse me, that it might not be a crime, is it, for us to import. But the quantum of the importation is what I'm surprised at. And the figures of the importation, when few months ago, we did not have any opportunity to refine locally. But when you're mentioning these figures, with possible trail that this product actually came in millions of liters into the country is what is baffling. Is it a crime to import? Because it's a free market, isn't it?
So, you know, the example I like to give is with the pharmaceutical sector. The World Health Organization has what they call good manufacturing practice that says there is a minimum benchmark globally for pharmaceutical manufacturing. So it's like you saying that, okay, you have a GMP standard globally, and pharmaceutical products are so expensive in Nigeria, and NAFDAC and SON should allow companies to import substandard products that goes below GMP standards for WHO because the price is a little higher than the substandard products that are imported into Nigeria. It's unfair competition, and it violates the law. Sections 317, 7 to 9 is very clear of the PIA. So it means that NMDPRA, as a regulator of mid and downstream, is violating the law that has been set in the PIA and is producing a gazette on that whenever the domestic refiner shows the capacity to be able to refine, and Dangote, for example, right now, is doing about 48 million liters of PMS. It's at 550,000 barrels per day capacity utilization. You're supposed to stop giving import, like NMPC claims also that they are refining. So, you know, the question I asked earlier is, if you're actually refining for about $2.4 billion that has been expended in turnaround maintenance within the last 6 years, by you selling Nigeria's crude oil in exchange for collecting cash up front to do turnaround maintenance, why are you importing 212 million liters of PMS?
Let's get it right. Before Dangote came on stream, before the Port Harcourt refinery came on stream, what is the quantum of importation of refined product into Nigeria?
The government claims that they were importing about 2 billion liters every month.
Every month.
And consumption was actually about 60 or 70 million liters per month. But I'll tell you why those figures are...
You know the reason why I'm asking, just for a moment, how many billions of liters were we importing per month?
The government
before any of the refineries.
The government claims 2 billion liters a month.
2 billion liters. 2 billion liters.
Anywhere around.
But you said
Nigeria
that from October.
Yes.
From October.
Yes.
I mean, we're still coming to the transparency of those figures.
Yes.
Whether those figures have any integrity or not.
Yes.
Considering our local consumption, because the reality is that we do know that whatever comes into Nigeria is not only consumed by Nigerians. Most of it found their ways outside of Nigeria. But let's hold that figure. 2 billion liters before any of the refineries came on stream, isn't it?
Yes.
You said between October last year, which 4 months ago, and now, how many liters did you say paper trail show that has been imported into Nigeria?
Between October last year and now, Nigeria has gotten about 4 billion liters of PMS.
So an average of 1 billion liters
a month.
A month.
Yes.
Which is just a billion liters short of what we got before any of the refineries.
Exactly.
Now, so with Dangote and Port Harcourt refinery, that at least in the last 3 months we know that both of those refineries are working and are churning out product, isn't it?
According to what they said, that Port Harcourt and Warri is working.
Yeah.
But it's disputable, and the reason it's disputable is because technically, the 46 kilometer trunk line that takes crude oil from Escravos through the Chanomi Creeks to Warri Refining Petrochemical Company is out of service. It was vandalized. So how are you taking crude oil feedstock to the refinery?
A lot of the reporters who got on the ground who said they saw trucks.
So Warri does not have a catalytic reforming unit that can crack naphtha into higher distillates like premium motor spirits. And one of the proof, if you ask any technical person who is familiar with the refining business anywhere in the world, one of the proof that you're refining PMS is that you're recovering petroleum gases. You cannot refine PMS and not recover petroleum gases. So how are you claiming to be refining PMS and then NPC has not shown us the LPG that is being produced from the
So you are
refinery?
saying that the possibility of Warri refining any product is almost zero?
It's almost zero. 93,000 metric tons of products.
Being lied to.
93,000 metric tons of products came through Warri within the last 4 months. 93,000 metric tons of products came through Warri within the last 4 months. Does it make sense?
So it doesn't make sense, or it doesn't look true that Warri refinery is producing.
So LMA and Warri, I'll tell you what, $2.4 billion was designated. You basically pledged Nigeria's crude oil, or 7,000 barrels per day, in exchange for upfront cash. Because when the fake award letter was awarded, it was given in 2020, the government NNPC didn't have money to prosecute turnaround maintenance, and they pledged it with creditors. Creditors gave them the cash, pledged Nigeria's crude oil through forward sale agreement, which is one of the reasons why you're not seeing a lot of FX come to CBN for balance of payment and stabilization of the macroeconomy. So if you look at all the forward sale agreements that have been structured between 2019 and 2025, you're talking of anywhere between $12 and $14 billion. As a matter of fact, there is currently one on the table called Project Leopard, right, of $2 billion NNPC says they want to borrow. You have two syndicates already. One, a national oil company that recently acquired the assets of one of the upstream companies, IOCs, and then one Abu Dhabi National Oil Company. The only reason why that announcement has not been made is because one of the major international traders pulled out as a syndicate on that deal. So you have all this structure where NNPC basically places Nigeria's crude oil, collects cash, they go to do vendor financing program, they go to do...
Again, Nigeria only make it. You may not understand all of the kind of terminology the guy is using, but make I use the layman explanation now for you, dear Templars. In 2020, right, NNPC used Nigeria's crude oil as a collateral in order to take a cash upfront. And that cash upfront was to do a turnaround maintenance, $2.8 billion. So $2.8 billion was given to them. And they were to be given this creditor 67,000 barrels of crude oil every day to pay back. So which means they are not expecting any money to be paid to them. Rather, they are using crude oil to pay back the loan. Now, you spend $2.8 billion, according to them, on turnaround maintenance. And then you claim that your Port Harcourt refinery is working, your Warri refinery is working. Meanwhile, the pipeline, the crude oil pipeline that was supposed to supply, that was meant to supply the crude oil to these refineries from Escravos, right, has been vandalized for years now. It's not been fixed. So how are you getting crude oil to these refineries in the first place? How? You pumping the crude oil into tankers and offloading them at the refinery. So he also asked a very, very, very important question there, that if you are fracking, what is it called? If you are refining crude oil in that way and you are getting PMS, there's also the petrochemical gas or something that comes out of that, right? Which show that indeed you are actually doing refining. So the bottom line is, yeah, you may see tankers pretending to be loading fuel from their gantry. But the truth is that when you sell these lies, you need many, many other lies or layers of lies to cover the original lie. Meanwhile, outside those lies lies the paper trail of how much of this product that are being imported into Nigeria using what is called the dollar subsidy. by the way. So Nigeria will make it. For Nigeria to make it slightly, these guys must face a firing squad. No jail for them. Just confiscate every of their properties in Nigeria and outside Nigeria, and then send them straight to Babish and let them face the firing squad. Like, no jail at all. Don't send them to jail. These are the people that want you to be patriotic. How do you be patriotic to a country that is the whole Nigeria for Jugula ni? Economically, Nigeria is finished. Done for. So no amount of lies that is going to take that away. No amount of propaganda that is going to change that. So when we tell you that Nigeria is hopeless, Nigeria is helpless, it is not it's not coming from a place of animosity. No. It is coming from the place of sincerity, honesty, and bluntness. These guys, they do not deserve any jail time. No. Straight up firing squad, death by hanging. You know? It's unfortunate. Yesterday, Omoyele Sowore was on X, which is a Twitter. By the way, I don't know if any of you on Twitter, if you have seen this, my Egun's Diary Politico. They don't do me shege, man. Somehow, I want to believe that my Egun's Diary Politico has been hacked. That's my belief, because I went to check, right? Even though I have no access to it anymore, okay? So I went to check and I realized that somehow I am no longer following anybody. And I didn't do that. Right? See, zero, Angono says 0 following. On my Egun's Diary, 0 following. That's strange. Anyway, Omoyele Sowore was on X, Twitter, right? And there were so many questions. It was all about the police criminality, the police corruption, and all, what have you, especially this Ibetokun, illegal police IG, a man that has spent over 33 years as a police officer. He was supposed to have got on this. He was supposed to have gone on retirement leave as far back as April, and he was supposed to have retired by September 2024. But somehow, Tifnumbu extended this stay, and then he forged his own police record to make him look like, you know what, he's going to retire in October 2027 after the 2027 charade. So Sowore has been on him. Then a lady asked Sowore about why did Sowore say Peter Obi's you obedient to listen? Because I don't know if you were part of that chat yesterday. It's quite an interesting one, right? So Sowore told them that Peter Obi's agenda was actually an agenda to make Tifnumbu president. In his own explanation, he said, Obasanjo, the Obankparo himself, and others who pretended to want a better Nigeria per se, decided to back Obi so that it will help them divide the potential, advantage that Atifku may have in the eastern Nigeria and the middle belt of Nigeria. In his own explanation, I want you to listen. I know this may rise some of you up, right? Well, I want you to listen first, okay, to what he had to say. The question and his answer is ridiculous.
Kemi?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. So thank you very much, Mr. Sowore, and I must say that I commend you. You are a very bold person. I mean, with everything that these people do to you, you still come out with guns blazing every single time. I mean, the most recent one was just really amazing. So I just want to ask you one question and maybe a follow-up later if I have time. So you said people like Obasanjo, Babangida, and the rest of them, the people that control like power at the top in Nigeria, brought out Peter Obi just so that Tinubu will eventually win. So I'm just wondering if you would explain to us what was their end game, because I like to think, and I believe you because you know a lot of things, you have a lot of contacts in some of these places, but I'm just thinking people like Obasanjo with some of their body language, I'm not quite sure I trust Babangida so much, but Obasanjo has also been at loggerheads with Tinubu right from the days of when he was the first president in 1999, all that fight he had with Tinubu when Tinubu was the governor and all of that. So I would like to believe that they are not really good. But, to think that Peter Obi was used, because Peter Obi came like towards the end of 2022, that's when the movement really, really became serious. I also agree with you that, Labour Party, gave him I'm a Peter Obi supporter. I voted Peter Obi, I'll vote him again. And I see your comments, I see, all the jabs that you threw at him. I would like to believe that if we are really, really going to maybe yes, my time is up. If we're going to take over power, if we're not going for Peter Obi, who do we go for? But I also want you to answer, why do you think that Obasanjo also, was tricked the people? Because I don't think that Obasanjo actually wanted Tinubu to become the president. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. At least you admit to something that I know these people more than most people, because I've been a student of Nigerian politics since 1989. When I entered the university, I started immediately when I was 19 years old, but I didn't get to be doing national politics until 1992 when I became the president of the student union. And where I wanted to look is this. Who were the major candidates in 2023? There was Tinubu, Atiku, and Peter Obi was later on, after he lost out from the PDP as a candidate, when he knew that he wasn't going to, he left and went to Labour Party. Obasanjo's biggest enemy in Nigeria is not Tinubu, it's Atiku. Obasanjo prefers a Tinubu to be president of Nigeria than Atiku because he knew that if Atiku has one more day to die, he will kill Obasanjo before he dies, because of what Obasanjo did to ruin his political career from 2007 or 2003 in particular, when he was vice president to Obasanjo. Most of you didn't know, but I covered their fight. It was probably the worst fight in the political history of this country, and there's nothing comparable to the fight that Obasanjo had with Tinubu. So, and he has looked at it geographically and knew that Atiku had sufficient influence, if you are not careful, to win the election. But if they take out the East and the South, and the Middle East, the Middle Belt, where there are Christians, because the Christians in the Middle Belt were oppressed. They have been oppressed. Southern Kaduna, Taraba, Plateau, Benue. They've had issues of oppression with Fulani herdsmen and domination. And now they have to deal with the Muslim ticket. They couldn't stand it. Obasanjo, to religious leaders, especially all the GOs, reached out to them and said, look, we have to take Atiku, don't support Tinubu. But Obasanjo, being a Yoruba man, is still comfortable with another Yoruba man being president than for an Atiku who he know will strangulate him to be president. And I'm sure it was part of the calculation that idea of breaking the back of Atiku cannot happen without introducing Obi into the equation. And if you look at the people who they surrounded Obi with, you will understand this. Edoyin Okupe was appointed by Obasanjo but he was close to Tinubu. A party to me who took Peter Obi to Labour Party and claimed that he stepped down for him because Party to me claimed at Labour Party convention, which they did wuru quickly, that he stepped down for Peter Obi. He is one of the closest person to Tinubu. In fact, there's still a video online where Tinubu was dancing and Utomi was dancing with him and Larry Banjo. You guys probably know Larry Banjo, but I saw him recently at Ganifa event. So all these things did not happen by accident.
Sure. I mean, I could sit down and put together some conjectures better than what Shore was trying to see, like, sew together in that, in his state. It's more or less like he's struggling to put together pieces of conjectures and just to make it sound like intelligible or something. And without dismissing everything, that could be iota of, a bit of a truth. But what Shore was saying in that, saying there was pretty much like a conjectures, right? I understand that he has his own reservations, right, for these rogues in that contraption, no doubt. But if all of us want to be honest, when Peter Obi was in their PDP, he was among the first set of people to declare that they wanted to be president. In fact, he was the only person who actually traveled to all states in Nigeria. I don't know if some of you will remember that. That traveled to all states in Nigeria, meeting the supposed PDP delegates in every state. Even where the wicked didn't do that. Atif couldn't do that. Then we also witnessed when where the wicked launched the campaign of calumny against him, until when they told him point blank that when he told them he had no money to share, and then they told him he should not waste his time. Yeah. And then we also witnessed how maybe Shore is trying to downplay the influence of the obedient on Obi himself. But it's always good that some of us who witnessed all that happened, right? We can still tell you how it happened without having to put up a conspiracy theories, conjectures that which kind of like align with our sentiments. Yeah, Obasanjo may not want a Atiku, but it wasn't morally right for anybody around that time to expect that a Fulani man, Bokwari, will finish 8 years and then everybody will back another Fulani from the northern part of Nigeria again. It wasn't really plausible. It wasn't. However, the influence of the obedient around that time was really, 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 really massive. That they actually called on Obi to leave PDP. They were shouting it, leave PDP, leave PDP. And around the time, there were few political parties that were calling him to come to them. Oh yes, there is, an established relationship between Patu Tomi and Tifnumbu. As part of the establishment, of course, Doyo Kuigbe, who is also part of the establishment. I mean, I was among those who kind of called out the obedient around the time that what exactly is wrong with some of you that the criminals, known criminals in Nigeria, the moment they pretended to be part of you, then all of their known criminality are totally forgiven. How many of you will remember that? Right? That the criminals in Nigeria, once they join you, the obedient, their crimes are forgiven. And you are, in fact, ready to defend them. So Kuigbe was one of them. Now, yeah, behind the scene, I would say there are those who influenced in the political side, which is kind of like a normal thing in Nigeria, right? Where you have to speak to the establishment. If you have a few of them on your side, then they'll begin to want to soften the ground for you or something like that. Something that a Showore would never associate with. I mean, they would never want to do anything or have anything to do with them. It's kind of ironical as well, by the way. Here you get that Omoyele Showore that sees these organized criminals as for who they are. Okay? And then want us to possibly believe that having anything to do with them is contrary to anyone's belief that they want a better Nigeria. But the same Showore is very comfortable with Wole Soyinka. Wole Soyinka is part and parcel of the ruiners, the criminals of Nigeria. He is. Wole Soyinka has used his own influence to protect these criminals, to vie for them. But Showore has no problem with Wole Soyinka. He is Soyinka's friend. So it's kind of ironical, like, you know. So the point I'm trying to make here is that there may be some behind-the-scene arrangement, because I am aware of when Obasanjo was talking to some of the supposed players, including Werewike, when they moved Obi and what have you to London to go and meet with Werewike. I share that on this platform. So Obi is one person who believes that, yes, these political class are criminals, but at the same time, right, they can be useful for something, you know, like for the greater good. And that is why he has pledged that it will never punish them for the crimes they've committed against Nigeria. Yeah, that is on record. But nobody should, for any reason, downplay the influence of the obedience in the scheme of things, including Obi himself declaring that he wants to run for office. That wasn't him. We are kind of like aware how the whole pressure started. Everything started with this, the obedient movement, that the movement that later became the obedient movement. Don't downplay that. Okay? Don't downplay that. Don't use conjectures like, oh, they brought him out so that Tifnubu can. Yeah, this is the argument of the SPV boys, the articulators as well, because they will never forgive Obi. Yeah, they won't. But let's listen to the rest of it. Showore and his conjectures.
So all these things did not happen by accident. Even the guy that replaced Okupwe, when Peter Obi realized Okupwe was stealing money from his campaign, they got Okupwe convicted. I'll tell you the story who convicted Okupwe in the future. But without even going too far, Okupwe was convicted by the judge who tried me for treason, Justice Ijoma Ojukwu. Ijoma Ojukwu is the wife of Professor Ojukwu. Professor Ojukwu works at Bayes University. Bayes University is a university owned by Dati, the vice presidential candidate of Peter Obi. So when they wanted to deal with Okupwe, the judge convicted Okupwe because they couldn't stand Okupwe. Okupwe was stealing campaign money. And you're hearing this from me for the first time. But don't forget, it was the same Okupwe they sent to me to come and join Labour Party and join Peter Obi's campaign. And I said, me? Are you mad? You guys remember when I responded to Okupwe and he never called me back? Because I told him, I said, how dare you, Okupwe, come and tell me to join a campaign that you are part of? That even if the campaign was legitimate, the fact that you are part of it shows that it's a fraud. That is what I told Okupwe. And I wrote about it on my Twitter page. Of course, all the people who were supporting Obi were abusing me. They said Okupwe was the best thing to happen to them since peanut butter was invented. Even Abure, that was your hero, I was constantly telling you guys that the Labour Party is Airbnb, short renter, that they will soon kick Peter Obi out of the place because he only came to rent it for 2023. Has it not happened? Because I know all the plots that is happening. I know who is involved. It was the same Obasanjo who went to Baba Adebanjo's house after the election was supposedly stolen, that there should not be protest. He doesn't want Nigeria to break up. He has seen civil war before. And that was why the idea of protest was quelled. Because Obasanjo at that point had gained what he wanted most, ensuring that Atiku did not become president. But he didn't mind his townsman, a fellow Yoruba man, being president, because at least they can speak Yoruba to themselves and resolve their differences. What did Obasanjo do later? He went to meet Tinubu's wife, greeted her. Next time, Obasanjo went and put Tinubu's hat, the one with handcuff, and wore it and said he didn't know his Tinubu's hat. They can play people who don't understand them. Nobody can play on my intelligence. And this is why you see that sometimes people are uncomfortable when I said them. I can't be part of any packaging. You can't package anything to me in Nigeria because I have been around here for a while. And as to who to support in 2027, you know already. Let the lion lead the pack of lions. Abandon the sheep and the sheepies. Thank you.
Sure. Anyway, good luck. So that was him yesterday. I was, that is not really, it's not credible enough. I understand that a lot of people say the division in PDP created the emergence of a Tiknumbu. But it is kind of like more than that. In 2019, it was Obi and Atiku. And despite the fact that Bokwari lost that election, INEC gave it to him. So that is why somehow when people use all kind of emotional conjectures and what have you to define what could have been to what has been, and I'm like, like everybody is like an expert, kind of. So there's a part that, including those who are supporting Showore, by the way, that if all of the contribution of Showore to the national politics of Nigeria, especially in the last 7-8 years, right? Showore should have been the one to inherit this obedient movement. I'm just using the obedient now because the obedient movement is the creation of the disappointment of Nigerians in their country and the government of their country. That is the idea behind this obedient movement. People who feel like Nigerians deserves better, Nigeria deserves better, and therefore APC must go. These are the angry Nigerians who are angry at the way the country is being run. So some people believe that Showore should probably have inherited that compared to Obi, who is believed to be an elite and a beneficiary of the rotten system himself, as people will say. Here you get. So somehow it is believed that what Obi is enjoying should have been Showore's enjoyment. But you see, there's something that I personally sort of like think as well. From the moment Showore told us on this platform that it will not be part of any election again in Nigeria until there is a new constitution, a new electoral act that can guarantee the free and fair conduct of elections. It won't be part of it. And I remember vividly when Showore told us here that PVC is not permanent voters card. It is poverty validation card. Only for him to turn around 360. Oh, he said something about using the Labour Party, by the way, as B&B renter, shortlets. Okay? But there is also something that is so undemocratic about himself and his own political party too. You know? People will say, Showore is the national chairman of his party. He is also the presidential candidate of his party. And there is no need for any primaries. It is just him. You know what I mean? Like, is the candidate, is the chairman, is the executive, and what have you. So the way he runs his own political party is more or less like a private business as well. So somebody like myself, right? I like Showore, sure you get. But it's not different from these guys. Not in the context of their criminality now. No. I'm talking about in the context of anyhowness. You get what I mean? Like, everybody's just doing whatever they can, and in the effort, right, trying to use what they have to want to get to what they think they want. Nothing is democratic about all of them. Nothing. No real due process, no nothing. You get? It's just like, do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. And that is, it must be right. Here you get. So, anyway, I'll leave you set to it. In Lagos, remember when they removed Obasa? So yesterday, there was a rumor. Yeah? A rumor that Tifnubu had ordered all of them to go and return Obasa. Yeah? And that was a rumor. It wasn't true. So this morning, the new speaker, she's the new speaker now anyway, Miranda, was welcomed in their usual fanfare, right? At the Status of Assembly, including meeting the staff of the Status of Assembly. So let me share that with you.
Madam Speaker, ma. 1 minute, ma. Three Bosa for Madam Speaker. Bosa. Ma, you are welcome to office on behalf of the entire members of the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria, Lagos State Chapter. Today we gather to welcome you to office and to pledge our continued support, loyalty, and dedication to work. And we pray that the Almighty will grant you a peaceful and a successful tenure in office. You are welcome, ma'am. Just gather to say thank you and welcome.
Mommy, ibi ẹ bá lọ, là ń lọ, ibi ẹ bá lọ, là ń lọ, àwa ò ní padà. Ibi ẹ bá lọ, là ń lọ, àwa ò ní padà. Ibi ẹ bá lọ, là ń lọ, àwa ò ní padà. Ibi ẹ bá lọ, là ń lọ.
All I have to say is thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm speechless and I'm a bit emotional. Thank you so very much for your love and support. I really do appreciate it, and I promise you I will never take it for granted. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Soli. Now, I saw your comment, right? People are free to change their mind. The inconsistency of politicians is the reason why they are never to be liked. And if, you know what they say about a man and his words, a man is a man must have his word as his bond. And if you can change your mind on an important pledges, then you shouldn't be trusted. Neyo, if you are somebody who changes his mind after kind of saying, yeah, I don't know if I can change my mind. Imagine if I come here, right? And suddenly, I am now a bad idiot. How are you going to feel? A man can change his mind. I can. No, I won't. And I can't. I'm just saying. Imagine I just turned on the camera and I started kind of telling you how great Ifnumbu is. Ronukus will join here and say, yes, you have seen the light. Thank God you have seen the light. So what would you say? You would say, a man is allowed to change his mind. Don't be that kind of a man. And if you are that kind of a man, right, you should never be trusted. Yeah, you should never be trusted. And I won't trust you if you are that kind of a man. You know, and that is why I probably will never have any kind of one-on-one with Showore anymore. It's very, you see, little things, some little things sometimes, right, can really define people per se. They say, when people show you who they are, believe them. You don't understand? Believe them. So that when they start moving mad, you won't be surprised. I like people who can hold their own ground, okay? Like under whatever circumstances, they can hold their ground. I like such people. I'm not a perfect person, but when it comes to being who I am, and people will tell you, for the last 10 years, I've always been very upright with my choice. And when I make my choice, I stand by them, even if the majority feels like my choice is wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying, right? Because there was actually a conversation around 2023, and I'm talking about 2021, 2020. I think it was around 2020 that we had that conversation, right? And we discussed at length. We gave reasons why 2023 charade was going to be a rigging galore. So we had thousands of people who were listening, who listened to that program. So it's like just letting people know that participating in the 2023 charade is just going to be like, what do you call it? It's just going to be like certifying or giving credibility to a fraud. There are some certain things that were supposed to happen. So you know me now, you know, sometimes I can be very dramatical, right? I was like, can you say that again? Can you say that again, that PVC was poverty validation card? And he said it again. And I said, I'm going to ask you a question. Are you going to participate in the 2023 charade? He said, me, never. I can look for the video. I mean, some of you should. It's still right here on the Mayegun's Diary Political. But that changed. And that is the reason why he never received the kind of support he got between 2018 and 2019. I happen to be one of those who also used my platform then, right, to push and promote the same show. So Neyo, if you are that kind of a man that changes his mind and then join in validating the fraud, then you shouldn't be trusted. That's not a real man, okay? And that makes him pretty much like them. In my own opinion. Baba? No offense. Right. There's this altercation between a traveler, a Nigerian traveler, somewhere in Nairobi, Kenya, And it's a video that has gone viral, okay? So from what we heard, according to the Kenya Airlines, right? They took this Nigerian traveler who is a resident in the UK, all right? And this person was returning back from Nigeria back to the UK. So on this Kenya airline, they were going to have a connecting flight in Nairobi. And that connecting flight would take them to the Charles de Gaulle airport in France, in Paris. And then from there to Manchester, I think. Then somehow they arrived in Kenya. While waiting to have the connecting flight, they now said they were not going to take this passenger. Why? Because the passenger doesn't have a French visa, Schengen visa. So I don't need Schengen visa. I'm just going to be transiting through the airport. And if you think I needed a Schengen visa, why did you not say that to me in Lagos? Why do you have to bring me to Kenya and then treat me like a piece of shit? So the drama has gone viral. This was the caption of it.
So you will provide a sanitary towel. You will provide. You won't take. You come and take my phone. Touch my phone, then you will see. Touch my phone. You touch my phone.
You're not going to.
Oh no, back phone.
You're not going to fly on Kenya again.
You're
not going to fly on Kenya.
Okay, you will see now.
You can never get our aircraft.
I will not check in. Thank God. I'm speaking to the Minister of Finance of Nigeria. You will see.
Call the president.
Benny,
call the president of Nigeria.
Okay, let's go on.
Call the president. Call your president.
Yes, we're waiting. Oh yeah, now.
Call your president.
See,
call the president.
You continue.
Continue. Yes,
continue. I want a hotel. I need sanitary towels.
I'm going to give you anything.
You will give me food tonight.
You're not giving me.
Yes, okay. Oh yeah, now.
You give me anything.
Very wicked set of people. 17 hours layover. 17 hours. Act of wickedness. I have blood clot issues.
Call your president. Call your president. Call your president.
Wọ́n ti issue ticket mẹ́ta fún mi. Wọ́n ti issue ticket. Wọ́n ti issue boarding pass mẹ́ta. Wọ́n ti issue boarding pass mẹ́ta sí mi.
You are not going to fly Kenya again.
Kò sí wàhálà.
We don't want you. We don't want
the problem, and I told you.
Mo ti snap ẹ. Màá sẹ̀dẹ̀ sí yín sí. Very wicked set of people.
Very wicked. You are wicked. You are wicked.
You are so wicked. Continue. Mo sẹ̀dẹ̀ sí yín sí. Tẹ́bá rí bó ṣe ń ṣe gbogbo àwọn Nigerians ní bíbáyìí. Tẹ́bá rí bó ṣe ń ṣe àwọn Nigerians wọ́n kò dà wọ́n síta ni. Tọ́ba ti rí green pali yẹn báyìí. Òyìnbó méjì wọ́n ti fún ní meal ticket pé kọ́ lọ sókè kọ́ lọ jẹun. Ṣùgbọ́n bá ti rí dúdú ara wọn báyìí wọ́n máa bá yí ara wọn jẹ́ ni. Wọ́n lò sí.
So maybe it's new. You know me, I've not traveled in a while. So maybe it is new. The last time I went to Nigeria, right? I think I was on KLM. Okay. So which took me to, what's that place called again? Is that Holland or something? So I didn't need any transit visa or any visa at all. With my residence card then, this was like 6-7 years ago now, right? So I didn't need any transit visa for somebody who is returning back to where she lives, right? But the point there is that this Kenya Airline, Kenya Airways, they were very hostile. That's the point. They are really hostile to their fellow blacks, since they are not really like, you know. But again, the part where she said, call your president. What are you going to do? Call whoever you want to call. Call your this or that. I was like, oh, God damn it. They actually know that you do not have any president anyway. So who are you going to report to? What are they going to do to us? So the airline says they have launched investigation. And I tried to find out if this passenger was eventually allowed to travel or she was returned back to Nigeria. No idea. So please always check. I mean, I'm a UK resident, right? And if I am going to Nigeria, I'm going to use my Nigerian passport anyway. Here you get. So does that mean that I'm going to need a visa to pass through? Because there is likely no direct flight, or you should better still just go and use the BA, British Airways, okay? That seems to be like you won't need to stop anywhere. Even if you have to travel from Manchester to London, or Liverpool to London, or from Glasgow to London. So it's just going to be, your stopover is going to be in the UK. So then you go straight to Nigeria to avoid this kind of, I don't know what advice I can give to people who travel regularly, but you should know better anyway. So if they said that they need you to have a transit visa to all these European countries, well, maybe you should watch the airline you buy their tickets. For those of you who are going to Nigeria anyway. You don't get business there, So good luck to all of you. That is where we are going to draw the curtain. I have really used the time, but yeah, why not? I mean, we can take calls, can't we? So let's see if the line will let us do that. Okay. So I'm going to take a short break, and I will be back in a minute or two. 1 second. Brilliant. So I'll be back in a minute or two, but please, right, like the broadcast if you haven't done that already. And if you have to go, okay, share it as well. And I will see you in a minute when I come back, and I can take calls. And if I can't, then we can call it a night. It's worth it. I'll be back.
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it.
Forget about it. So, if I say all of them don't enter on herself, especially on YouTube again, I shall calm down. Okay. I'm in a good mood. So I'm not taking offense. Even if people they kind of like enter me too, right? All of them we get spanners, right? No, don't knock them up, right? Okay, let them pour it out, right? Pour it out. Okay, let them enter me too if they want to enter me. There's no fight. All right, let them have the pass. I have the first caller this evening. Hello there.
Yeah, Mr. Mayegu himself.
Yes, sir. The
bishop of the temple.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Well done, well done. Very good. You did a very good job today.
Thank you, sir.
Very great job. And I wonder how you have this I don't know how you put up all these things together, because you know sometimes when you see all these things, it make us to have this kind of feelings. And look at what you talked about, what happened in this what is it called, Ebonyi State?
Yes, sir.
The killing, yeah. You see, I'm from Edo State, and if you look at what is happening in Nigeria, I believe Nigeria is gone. You understand? I believe definitely there is no how we can fight all this Fulani. They will definitely take Nigeria. Because look at it this way: the Igbos, the Biafrans, they are trying their best to fight these monsters, but their own people are against them, selling them all because of money. I know. You understand? All the politicians, the kings, and some individuals, virtually all of them, they are into this stuff. They don't care about killing people. You know, this is it day before yesterday or yesterday you talked about, I think the day before yesterday you talked about how they take over the Hausa land, the Fulani take over the Hausa.
That's right.
You understand? We talked about that. This is what they are doing. If you look at all this our side now, they all have Seriki Fulani. In Esako, where I come from, they have Seriki Fulani in Auchi.
And they believe that making them Seriki is, it's like a peace deal to guarantee that they won't attack them. Imagine become so vulnerable in your own land that to feel safe, you have to crown one of these strangers to feel safe. Like, why is that happening?
You know, there cannot be two pilots or two drivers in a car.
No.
If you have two kings in a village or in a community, the most powerful one will eventually take over.
Eventually.
And who will be the most powerful one is the Fulani.
The one
because
with
they have the because not even with guns, they have the government banking. You understand?
They do.
So it's just a matter of time. Nigeria is gone. I'm telling you this. The only solution is if we are ready to die, to get our own country we call our own. Because there's nothing like Nigeria. Obafemi Awolowo said it. Nigeria is a mere geographical location.
Expression.
It's not a country. There's nobody that can say I am in Nigeria because Nigeria is not a country. If you want to address yourself now, I am a Yoruba man, I'm a Oduduwa.
That's right.
If you are from me, say I'm a Biafra. If you say for this, nobody say I'm in Nigeria. Because there is nothing in Nigeria. So these things make us scared sometimes. We don't know how we're going to go about it. But I'm happy.
It's like sitting duck, waiting for what is going to happen to you. And when.
Yeah.
Until it happens, you just kind of have to pretend that everything is fine. Like, that's not right.
It's not. Right. It's not. Look at this, that the GOs them that are because of the money. Let me tell you one thing.
Yep.
I'm a Christian. I'm not a gay Christian.
Bless you.
But I'm a Christian today because I was born into a Christian home. Those that are Muslim today are Muslim because they were born into a Muslim home.
Facts.
And if you are a daddy GO, you cannot defend the religion you claim you are preaching because the government gives you money to brainwash the congregation so that they will not to stop uprising. You know that is the reason for creating Christianity. Not the only Christian religions. The religions were created to control people.
That's it.
That is just it. Because normally, human beings are mystical, are mystics by nature. Because the God lives in you. God is in you. God speaks to you directly. You don't need any intermediary person to intermediate between you and God or to connect you to God. It is for you to realize the God within you and communicate with it in your own way. This is what our ancestors did. And they were succeeding in it until they bring Christianity or Muslim to come and they destroy our culture, our tradition, our values, and everything.
You're right.
Control us. You understand? The only solution is for us to die for what we believe in. If not, Nigeria will be taken.
Honestly, because sooner or later, anyway, we're going to be victims. So we'll get to that point where everybody will realize that and say, well, finally, we're all going to die anyway. Sure, you get. Now, it will be ideal for us to actually choose how we're going to die rather than die running away from the bullet of those who are willing to take our lives. You know? Thank you so much, Baba.
Before I go, let me tell you one thing.
Yes, sir.
You know the Fulanis were the people that were taking us for slavery. That is why they call us Kukuruku. You understand?
I'm with you.
So in my side where I come from, almost all the elderly people in my place, they all have Muslim name. My dad has a Muslim name. Do you know why they have Muslim name?
Why?
Because when the Fulani come to come and take slaves, they ask you your name, you say, I am Musa, I am Ibrahim, I am this. They will leave you. That is what my grandmom told me. When I asked him how to come, my grandmom asked a Muslim name, it was called Asada. So we all my people from our side, they all have Muslim name. So that slavery thing they did is what they are doing again now in another serious dimension.
Violently.
Yeah.
Baba, thank you so much. Let me take another one, okay? For the road. You have a very good night, okay? Thank you, sir. See, I'm gonna. Did I miss that? Okay. I think, hey, did I? Hang on. Okay, I think I got it. Let's see. Hello there.
Hello, Maegun.
Oh, Alhaji Wahab. How are you this evening, sir?
Baba. General, kò ní bàjẹ́. Ọ̀wá pẹ́ fún wa. Jọ nítorí Ọlọ́run kò fẹ́ sáré tọ́ọ̀ṣù lórí nǹkan méjì ní alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ yẹn. Ọ̀rọ̀ pé bóyá Nàìjíríà pé bóyá wọ́n ń bára wọn jà Kẹ́ńyà yẹn. Ibi tó ti máa fa pépà Nàìjíríà yà lójú wa ó pọ̀ gan-an. Àwọn South Africa kan ti ń fohùn lẹ̀, wọ́n ń fohùn lẹ̀ Senegal. Nǹkan tí Tinubu ń ṣe fún Mali, Niger, gbogbo ẹ̀ ní gbogbo wọn rí. So ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́ fìyẹn lọ́rọ̀ Lagos State ní fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ sán lálẹ́ yìí. Nǹkan fẹ́ yí ọ̀rọ̀ lórí ẹ̀ ni. Torí nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ Lagos State a ti di non-entity nǹkan tí Tinubu ti gbọ́ àdì nìyẹn. Ọ̀rọ̀ Ọbaṣá kò ṣe Ọbaṣá yìí. Ọbaṣá àwọn tẹ́ ń gbọ́ mo mọ̀ pé àwọn ajá Tinubu kan wà tó ń gbọ́ ṣú ẹ̀ wàá bí kalẹ̀ jáde ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ o. Wọ́n ní Ọbaṣá ní bọ́tìn kan lórí Rẹ̀mí Tinubu tí àwọn pípù yìí tó hàn ṣe lè yọ Ọbaṣá kó ń bẹ̀. Ìgbà tí arábìnrin yìí tó débẹ̀ gbogbo ará Èkó ló ń sọ pé ọmọ wa ní kinní kan ni kò ṣe kinní kan. Ọbaṣá padà wá láti Amẹ́ríkà with confidence ó lọ sábùjá Tinubu ò lè rí. Àwọn EFCC fẹ́ gbé Ọbaṣá Rẹ̀mí Tinubu blọ́ọ̀kì wọn. Okay, ìgbà tó wá tó di weekend tó lọ yìí wọ́n tún pariwo míì Ọbaṣá la máa padà ń bẹ̀. Ṣé ní gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń sọ̀rọ̀ lórí social media ṣé social media la máa fi tó Lagos State ni? Wọ́n lè impeach Ọbaṣá. Ọbaṣá dí more than 20-something billion naira lówó Lagos State. Ìyẹn lásán ti tó kọ́ impeach ẹ̀. Wọ́n ní kí ni evidence? Àwọn nǹkan tí ń sọ̀rọ̀ oríṣiríṣiríṣiríṣi. Ọlọ́run ọba láláàánú máa dúdú tì ẹ́. Ìwọ tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ṣé Ọbaṣá fún ẹ lówó ni? Ìgbé tó bá di Thursday tó ọba dọ́gba Ọbaṣá padà. Àwa tí mọ bàbá ẹ̀ kí bàbá ẹ̀ tó bí ẹ. Àwa tí mọ bàbá ẹ̀ kí bàbá ẹ̀ tó bí ẹ. Because bàbá ẹ̀ wí bẹ́ẹ̀ jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. But wọ́n ti bèkó jẹ́ Tinubu ti bèkó jẹ́ mọ́ wa lórí kò sí. Gbogbo wa la wà ní pocket Tinubu náà. Irú èmi ti bá wà lẹ́kùn wá di poison bàbí kan ti pa mí wájú ilé bàbá mi. Nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ nìyẹn. Ọbaṣá ní nǹkan tó ẹ máa gbọ́ o. Ọbaṣá ní bọ́tì nǹkan lórí Rẹ̀mí Tinubu tí ọ̀n ṣe lè yọ bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn. So wọ́n ti impeach ẹ̀ náà ni. Èwo ni pé kó tún wá gbé padà. Wọ́n ti bring program kọjáde. Wọ́n ní torí pé ó tọ́ ọmọ ọba onírù kan ọmọ Lagos Island ní gómìnà Lagos State Lagos Island ló ti wá. Ó ṣe jẹ́ gbogbo wọn tó wá látèkó Lagos Island ló máa filẹ̀ ṣé lẹ́yìn Tinubu ló máa pàṣẹ lé wa lórí ni tó bá jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ 2027 àwa gan ti ní gọ́vnọ̀ tó máa jẹ gọ́vnọ̀ Lagos State kò ṣe ọmọ yín a lè kéèyàn mẹ́wàá lẹ̀ tó dájú ọmọ yín lọ a lè ka èèyàn mẹ́wàá lẹ̀ iyẹ̀pẹ̀ Abdulateef ó qualify to be Lagos State governor ọmọ bàbá Jákàndé Túndé Jákàndé ó qualify to be Lagos State governor èwo wá ní pé kẹ́ máa gàlàlà lé wa lórí pé kinní kan àwọn pípù ti kó wa lọ́wọ́ lẹ̀ tó bá a máa kú pọ̀pọ́dà lẹ́nìí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ọ̀run re ó rò pé bóyá òun máa bá wa di 2027 ni òun dà lẹ́nìí tó gbogbo wa la máa lọ ọmọ Èkó ẹ má yẹ kán máa ọjọ́ ti já wa láyà jù ọ́ ti kó wa sẹ́pò jù Rẹ̀mí Tinubu Ọlọ́run máa dójú tì ẹ́ o Ahmed Bọ́lá Tinubu Ọlọ́run máa dójú tì èmi ò ní sọ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ.
Thank you so much. Alhaji Wahab, you have a good evening, sir. Baba,
yes, sir.
So, to those of you who don't understand the Yoruba, Alhaji kind of prefers to, because his own message, especially when it concerns Lagos, right, is like he loves directing his, his own message to the Lagos miscreants, as he calls them. So, he's practically saying that even though the Tifnumbu and his family believes that they own Lagos, the issue of Obasa, as we've come to see it today, right, is that Obasa is gone. He has been impeached. He has been impeached. The whole rumor of returning him has been kind of rumored, right? It's never going to materialize. And also, there must be something that Obasa has on Remi Wirekwe, the rat, Tifnumbu's wife. Obasa that stole over 20 billion, fact, it's been prevented from arrest by Remi Wirekwe. So something that makes it more like somebody who stole Lagos State money is being shielded from prosecution and all that. But in all of this, right, in their race towards 2027, where they believe that they are those who will determine who will become governor and who will become governor, they probably will see their own shocker. So again, Alhaji loves directing his message to those in Lagos because he strongly believes that there are many Ronukus on this platform, especially those ones who are from Lagos, who are indeed proud to be bad idiots or bastards. So that's why I kind of love delivering that in Yoruba. Okay. So, the line is still open. So those of you who might want to add your own contribution, let me see. Yeah, right. So the line is still pretty much open, and you can also still be part of it. And I bet, we are very good with the connection as well. Okay. So thank you so much for this. I have another. Oh, hang on. Is that you? Hello. The call dropped. Okay. So I don't want to believe that Neyo is flashing me. You can't flash me. You see, or maybe you didn't expect it to be picked. Here is again Prince Adebayo from Sweden. Is that you?
King. My king, I greet you.
Prince, how are you today?
I'm fine.
Grand.
My king, I wanted to just touch on this Shore issue.
Okay.
Please. They say if you are pursuing a dream and you see somebody who is applying the same method as you, achieving results, that is the person you are going to be looking at and fighting. You will not look at those other people who are applying different methods, because if that person is applying the same method that you are applying and getting results, you will be wishing to be that person. And that's what I see between Shore and Obi. Because if you can trace back, I have never seen one day Obi criticize Shore. Obi does not criticize anybody. He's just doing his own politics. You understand? But every other person seems to be taking a jab at Obi. And,
there's this thing about jealousy. When jealousy starts to strike a person, the person will be so blind that he will fail to be aware of the fact that other people are seeing what he is doing. Jealousy is that kind of thing. It closes your eyes that you just be attacking that person you are jealous of, forgetting that people are observing. We have observed you. Okay, you have spoken your mind several times. Okay, but why are you still on this topic of another person who has equal right like you? Leave this guy and focus on your own mission. When people will realize that you are the best candidate, they will come gravitate to you.
Right.
But stop jabbing at this man. Just focus on your own mission. People will listen to you. That's what I feel. So we should stop this because there are other people who have done damage to this country. You don't mention their name. What is there after suffocating this country to the level it is now? You don't talk about that one. The one that is there, that you don't talk about that one. The likes of Atiku that have been vice president before, you don't talk about that one. You don't talk about. It is this fresh man that is trying to. And you observe, when you are the chosen one, everybody will be after you. Soludo after him. Tinubu, the same thing. Choretu, the same thing. Everybody. Why? No, I don't think that's necessary. I love this guy, Showore, because for me, if everybody stand behind him, I like a lot, no government will take us for granted again. But you see this Obi, the reason why people love him is that he has benefited from this system. He has so much to lose because he's a billionaire from this system. You understand? And then he's standing with the people. People love that kind of people. This guy is Davido. His father is very rich. If he decides not to work, he's still a billionaire. But he decides to be with the people. People love those kind of people. Mr. Showore, how much are you worth totally? You see where people, the angle of people. They can put Showore in prison now for 5 years. He will not lose anything more than just his freedom. He has not built that kind of tentacles. Or if you put him in prison for 6 months, a lot, he will lose a lot. So for that kind of person, people see those kind of people like this man has a lot to lose. Yet he's still speaking for the people. That is why a lot of people gravitate towards people who have benefited from the system, but yet criticize that system. People believe that they have seen through the system, and they realize the man who built this thing that they are doing in Sweden. This man, what is his name? This Nobel is the one that built the bomb. He's so rich, but after realizing that he has caused a lot of damage, he came back and donated all his money to the world.
His entire
you understand? His entire estate to the world. Yes. Yes. So there's nobody that God cannot use. There's nobody that God cannot use. If God says it's Obi stand, it is Obi that people should follow. Just do your own. When God says it's your own time, wallahi, nobody will stop the crowd that will follow you. Well, I hope this message gets to Showore.
Well, I mean, you won't be the first person to say that to him, but somebody who is, the way I've seen it, all right, is convinced that his ways is the best way. So, yeah, you are free to disagree with him, like a lot of people. But I mean, I just thought that if you are doing something, same thing again and again, and expecting a different result, it's just a sign of insanity, so to say, right? So honestly, if you want the people on the side, and you indeed really want to be, just in quote, if you really want to be a leader in this context, right, then you probably need the people. But if you think you don't need the people, or you need a certain people, then maybe it's pretty much like, self-deceit. But again, I don't think anything can make him change his way. His way seems to be the only way he believes. You know.
Well, let him shoot himself. But me, I've said it.
Yep.
So that yes,
Prince,
Baba.
thank you
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
You
Thank you
have a
very
good one,
much.
Baba. Okay.
Thank you.
Stay safe, man.
Yeah.
Here is another caller anyway. Hello there. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, my own general. This is Anthony from Austin, Texas. I haven't called you in a long time.
It's been a while. Anthony, how are you today?
Yes, sir. I'm very well, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm very well too. Thank you so much for asking.
Fantastic. First of all, before I even say anything, I would want to find out where exactly in Texas are you coming?
Houston.
Houston. Okay, that's not a million. That's not.
I heard that the trip from Austin to Houston can take up to 8 hours drive. Or how many hours?
No. It's 3 hours.
Oh, is it 3? That's
yes,
great.
I'm
I'm
very
going to be in Houston for 16 days.
Oh wow!
So there is a stretch. So
okay,
yeah, maybe we can even have our meet and greet probably on Sunday, the 23rd of February. Then we have another one again, another Sunday, which is going to be like 20. Hang on. No, another one. Then I'll be on my way to the UK. Anyway, first we'll work something out.
Okay,
you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know how the plan is panning out. For now, I have no clue where exactly you're going to be. But if you find a way to put it out there on the platform, then it will be easy.
I know a lot of people. Well, some people are trying to, people who kind of, people who love my ego. I'll put it that way, right? But some people feel like, number one, I shouldn't say where I'm going to be, and number two, I shouldn't. I'm like, I'm not Osama bin Laden. So if anything,
come on, this is the United States.
I am not somebody who lives
nothing will happen.
I don't live my life in seclusion. Sure, you get.
No. You might not need to say where you're going to stay, but you have to at least let people know where the event is going to happen.
So if I'm going to be at a social place, a social time.
Yeah. Otherwise, somebody like me, how if I decide to drive from Austin to Houston, then where am I going to?
You get. So that is why. Well, anyway, I do appreciate people's concern. To be honest, I do. Right?
No, it's true. I agree.
But the moment I am in the US, right, wherever I'm going to be, and if it's just going to be where I want to make public, right? Of course, I'll make it public, right? Whatever I want to happen, let it happen. Yeah.
Nothing will even happen. I guarantee you that. Exactly. The only thing is that the people, it's not even about you.
Yep.
It's about every event that's holding in the US.
Yeah.
The people that are going to be, directly in charge in connecting these things should talk to the security agencies, let them know what is going on.
Exactly.
Ask for them to just come and survey the place, and that's it.
I know.
Nobody. Come on.
We are expecting a lot of people. It's ideal to inform the security agents there. Say, we have
totally. If this was happening in Africa, if this was happening in any country in Africa, yes, I would be genuinely concerned. Yeah. But nothing to worry about the US. Nothing. Zero.
I mean, like, if they won't kill me, say no, they kill me for US. Maybe when I come back to life, I will come back as a dog in America. Here you go. So but you know something? I do believe that in my past life, I must have done something wrong for God to return me to Nigeria. It must be something. Something must actually be wrong. Here you go.
Then probably all of us should also find a way to look at our past.
So check it exactly.
We also found ourselves.
What did I do wrong, Baba God? Why you come to me for this country?
And they tell you, no, it's more.
Anthony.
Anyway,
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Bless you. So quickly. You've talked so much, but I'm just going to touch quickly on also the Shore part. I think that Shore is a guy that loves Nigeria. He is a genuinely nice guy. I love him, and I know you, Maegu, you love him. As a matter of fact, I started
the chance of sitting with Shore. You can see genuinely his genuinity.
Genuinely, he's a lovely guy. In fact, Shore was the person that made me to even know about your show in the first instance. So anyway, having said that, the guy talking to you now, I am from Kogi State. And even if Shore is listening to this program or anybody, during 2019, I hosted the town hall organized for Shore in my state capital. In Abuja,
I donated a vehicle to the campaign. Part of my house was used like a campaign office. So I'm somebody that deeply connected
I remember
to him.
that time too. Like we were all out for sure. No joke. You get that?
Correct.
Like
yes.
I went to Nigeria even like a few months before the election, and I met with him. He came to see me, and I was like there for my mom's burial. And I mean, we're all like invested, even though we knew that it was probably not going to get it. It was going to be rigged.
Yes.
But we actually in diaspora we stood by Showore.
We did a lot. In fact, I flew from Tokyo to Nigeria when he had his first town hall in Abuja. That was where I met Showore in person for the first time.
Right.
And after that, I came to New York, spent time with him. We even drove around from Manhattan to Brooklyn together. He's a brilliant guy, fantastic person. But just like every one of us, we have our faults. Showore's fault is my way or the highway.
You get?
That is it. When 2023 came along, I saw the direction of the wind that it was blowing. I went to Abuja. I went to his house and sat down with him and told him, look, the direction of this wind is going to sweep us off this contest, except we change our game. Because there's no way. There's just no way. Let's just okay, Peter Obi said if he becomes president, he will not even probe those past leaders. Because how are you sure that is even true? He might get to office and change his mind. If you look back, what foiled the Gideon Oka coup was that the coup had not succeeded and had started talking about what they would do. How they would divide Nigeria, how the North would deal with this. And then the people in the North heard what you were saying and foiled the coup. So you can't talk about the plant you will cultivate until you gain a piece of land first. So for me, Obi probably would have been politically smart to say, I'm not going to touch the past, I'm not going to do anything. But what if he comes into government and appoints EFCC chairman and gives him the free hand to do anything he wants? And will not say, don't provoke the people at the past. Don't anybody who is corrupt. We find anything on anybody. If you find anything on me, come after me. That is how to do politics. I talked, and all the minions around him, in fact, they hate me. They hated me. And these are the guys that used to secretly come to my house at night to look for money when we run in the hiccup during the campaign in Abuja. All of them don't like me now. But I told them that, look, I'm not around this campaign for anything. Even if somebody wins, probably.
If I was him, right, I would say it was supposed to somehow consolidate the gains of 2019. You get that?
Yes.
Like, because he actually had a lot of genuine people who invested so much in him, genuinely.
Yes.
Right?
Including
a lot
myself.
of these people, including myself. A lot of us, right, stood by him when this guy got money from Amechi to truncate and destroy AAC. Remember?
Correct.
So we still stood by you. So you were supposed to consolidate that, which means you were supposed to actually make more progress by consolidating those gains, that base.
Yes.
So how he lost the entire base before 2023 is something that should call for a sober reflection, in my own opinion. It's not about Obi now.
You know what?
Yeah, Obi came, he was able to kind of, you get fine. But Showore had the ground, not just in Nigeria, but in the diaspora. So what went wrong? That would be something that me, myself, would take a stock of. I would take a stock and say, what went wrong? What really went wrong?
Let me tell you what went wrong.
Right.
Because I was during the debate where they had the debate, all those kind of some of the fake debates that they were bringing a candidate and his running mate to interview them. But there's this particular debate that featured himself, Donald Duke, Duro Toye, this other one now that is the special advisor to Tinubu, who himself was criticizing Tinubu at that time.
I remember. I can't remember his name right away, but I'll read something No, I remember.
No, Dr. Fasua is his name.
Oh, Fasua, God bless you. That's his name.
Yes. So all of them were on the debate stage. Prior to that debate, we were camped in a hotel where we were prepping him for the debate. We did that severally. before the debate. And the point is that some of us, to be able to run a campaign, you have to have a team that coordinates and plans every step you make.
That's right.
But here is a man that whatever you tell him, if it is not what he has in his mind to do, he's not going to follow. So a lot of guys, Malcolms, even including this Dele Farotimi, was with Suarez at that time. You won't tell him to do something which is against what he believes is the right thing to do, and he will follow. So you can't be a one-man, you can't run a one-man show and win a campaign in a complicated society like Nigeria. Even in the US, you can't do it. So that was what happened. And then when the campaign messaging became poor, everybody just concluded that this guy is just out there insulting people, insulting Babagenda, insulting Buhari, insulting Obasanjo. Or, in Nigeria, traditionally people respected us, whether they are the criminals or not. People have that mindset of just respecting because as an elder.
There is a way you actually
have to play. You have to play smart. You have to play it smart.
That's why
whatever you think you want to do,
contest, because I can't.
Whatever you plan to do, you do it when you have that power. It's not when you are looking for it. They say if you want to kill an animal, you have to behave like an animal. So overall, I love him. I still will want to talk to him any day. But this is where we went wrong. And then Obi came with a message. Obi's message was not just saying what I would do. He will tell you what I would do and match it to what he had done. And he resonated. His message swept north, south, east, west. And then you'll be criticizing him. Do you mean that all the millions gravitating towards him are stupid? It's only you that knows that he's not the right man?
It doesn't sound well.
If we had an electoral system that is like that of the US, Obi's vote in 2023, his vote alone will be more than Atiku and Tinubu combined.
That's right.
That is the fact. Anyway, let me leave you so that some other people
you've done well. Anthony, thank you so much
very much, my brother,
for chipping in. All right, it's
absolutely.
Stopping by.
Look forward to seeing you in Texas. Look forward to seeing you in Texas.
I know. I'll see you in Texas. Man, it's next week, Anthony. It's not far again. And you know what?
You and I could
probably, like many others, right, see for the first time, and then
absolutely
click right on spot.
Let's do it.
We will.
Let's do it, Baba.
Stay safe, man. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You have a good one. Bye. Right? Indeed. See, Mayegun's Diary Politico is a platform where we have divergent views about a lot of things, and because the platform itself is about politics, so don't ever miss on that. Mayegun's Diary, the Politico means politics. The diary means where we keep the political happenings, and it is not a one-man show. Even though I'm the only one kind of like presenting, the part where it gets more interesting is when others can even like publicly right here disagree with me. Mayegun, I disagree with you on that particular. I say, okay, yeah. I'm all ears. Tell me your disagreements. And people can see things from different perspectives, right? That is what makes it more interesting. So if you have a chance of being part of this platform and you, for any reason, right, disagrees with anybody, the right thing to do would be what? Call in. Share your own views. And yeah, you probably, within the audience, you will see people who disagree with you as well, while you will see some who agree with you. So it is that kind of like interesting. So I can understand why some people are not happy whenever Mayegun didn't take calls. Okay, but let's talk to Paul. Hello.
Hello, Mayegun General. Mayegun General.
Yes, sir.
I greet you, my brother. Good evening. How are you? How's the family?
Thank God, we are surviving. Thank you for asking, Baba. How are you?
Thank God. I'm fine. Thank God.
Yes.
Everything is okay. And I want to thank you first, for your time, your dedication, your commitment, in the betterment of our country. Because to be honest, we don't have any other place again, except from that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So because Nigeria is has been like run down, all of us trapped within it. we are not finding it easy. So you're right, Baba.
Exactly. So thank you very much. So first of all, I would like to discuss about this Fulani terrorist rampage.
Right.
You know, when I saw the news, I was really angered. I was mad. You know, that every time it keeps happening in Igbo land, in Yoruba land, out of their own, you know, territory. And when people try to intervene, you see the military, police, they will come and rescue these people. And at the end of the day, it will still be the same story. They are backing them up. So for me, I believe every successive government that has come and go, including Tinubu, Koolu at the moment, he doesn't have a power over these Fulani people. Him is even being careful. Because if you look at some key positions in his cabinet, he has given it to the Fulani terrorists. Look at Military of Defense. Someone who's, if you know that yes, if you know that even that guy, the US know that that guy is the sponsor of all these terrorists in Zamfara. US intelligence, everything. I remember when they come during Boko Haram regime then, when they came, Russia came, China came, they said they came and nobody could give them intel about, you know, how they are going to fight, informations where these terrorists are, you know, everybody was just pushing back. And during that time, it was these guys that were in power as a governor in that state. So at the end of the day, it was still the same story. You understand? So it's a very sad one. And look at every place in Yoruba land, Igbo land, all these Fulani have surrounded them. I saw a viral video, I don't know, maybe you've seen it, where it happened in the east. I think it happened in Delta too. They said in the forest now, all those Fulani are taking over fully. They are there permanently. And in Yoruba land too, Badagry, Agbara, all those places.
All those areas,
because
exactly.
they
are so visible.
I have property
they are
there.
not even just in the forest. They are so visible.
I'm telling you.
They have to make one of them a Seriki.
Yes, now. In Badagry, you saw it the other day, you brought it now. So this is a very alarming period. Their major goal is to destabilize Yoruba land, Igbo land without Sharia. So when you Yoruba start fighting each other, they will Islamicize and, you know, make some Yoruba Muslim a jihadist and extremist, so that you keep fighting yourself, you don't have time for them, and they will now come. And you know, there's a Yoruba proverb that says, if two people of the same father, the same mother are fighting, after they kill themselves, it is the stranger that will come and inherit all their properties.
When two brothers fight themselves to death, strangers will inherit the land.
That is it. So that is what they are trying to set up in Yoruba land now. Thank God in Igbo land, how many Muslims do you have? So the problem now is facing Yoruba. Igbo people, they can still talk to themselves, they listen to themselves. Even the governors, those in politics in Igbo land, they know the truth. But because they are looking for power and they want to be politically correct, that's why they are betraying their people. But our Yoruba people, all those ones, they will never come out and say the truth. Some people are still carrying themselves in Igbo land to go and make Koolu talk to him that he should release Nnamdi Kanu and all of those things. Since Koolu has come back to power, he has been in power now. As he calls Sunday Igboho to come back, all the Yoruba agitator, everybody that flew, that took what is it called during Boko Haram period, asylum in Canada, in America, in UK, how many of them has Koolu come back? That they should. But look at all this Fulani galvanizing, gallivanting up and down in the north. Look at that one you showed us tonight, that they said they've surrendered their weapon. Are they not still with their weapon? Yeah. Where did they surrender their weapon?
No, they didn't.
And they will just give them small money. They will go and enjoy themselves. 2-3 weeks later, as you said yesterday, the day before yesterday, they will come back again and start killing people. So I think this problem is we have our future in our hands, but people does not want to sacrifice. The option that we have is revolution. When everybody marched to the street and protest and said, we are not backing down.
Just do it.
Nothing. Everybody just come, old, young, everybody. How many military do we have? We don't have up to 70,000 active military personnel in that contraption. I'm telling you the fact. We don't have up to 50,000 police.
Really protect, at all. They have become so overstretched as well. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes. When you look at the active, let's use the word active now. Active. Yeah. What do you call it? Military
service members, military. Yeah.
I don't know about their reserve or what have you. Okay. So they
Do
say
Nigeria
they
get
have
reserve?
active 150,000 soldiers. But let's be honest, if they have not been used for private security for the politicians, for their properties here and there, some of them have been channeled towards the northeast, some of them have been stationed in the southeast, and the rest of the whole country is just do Allah, do Anobi, you know, everybody's on their own.
I'm telling you,
So overstretched. So that's why they are so afraid that if any revolution breaks out today, or
Nigeria
any civil war breaks out in Nigeria, Nigeria won't survive it.
At all. US government know this thing. That's why they said 2015 is a game changer for Nigeria. That if Nigeria can succeed 2015, because they know what's coming during that time. That if people should take to the street and demand for their own future, that is in Nigeria is gone. How many military we get?
And they are still surprised that Nigeria is still standing, by the way, because I read an article where they felt like, how? That Nigeria is still standing or still existing right now. It defies all logic, according to them. By now, everywhere should have been up in smoke. But people are saying that, okay, hang on. We all know about, you heard about this USAID stuff, Baba? Now, we heard that 2015, okay, that they said they brought the Fulani terrorists to the border of Nigeria. That was not the only thing. No. America actually had their soldiers, right? Their Marines stationed on their, what do you call it? Their aircraft carrier in Ghana. You get, they were waiting for Jonathan, right, to reject the election.
The election, so that they can
use that as
they will just come in. Yeah, they will invade
Libya on our hands.
Absolutely.
But the guys seem to like have beaten them to it. By conceding and saying, you know what? That changed the entire thing, even though that destroyed the contraption even further to what it is today. But they were surprised that Nigeria, they still get Nigeria.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Nigeria was supposed to not like it should have been. So they were surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. See, you know, Nigeria is still repairable. If we have someone who is like a dictator, who is ready to do the right thing. You look at this guy, Paul Kagame. When he took over Rwanda was shit. It was worse than Nigeria. The level of impunity there, different tribes, you know, the way they were tribalism, it was right. Yes, that's why the guy said in Rwanda today, they can never call anybody Igbo, Yoruba. They can, you can't mention tribe. It's a crime. Yeah, everybody is Rwandans. God bless.
My you know the story. To speak and address Tutsi, Hutus, or what have you, you are going to jail.
You are going to jail. If the guy arrested all the old politicians, people that caused the war, everybody. That's why to some people is a good guy, to some people is a bad guy. To Westerner doesn't like taking over being a dictator, but they still like that Paul Kagame because he brought stability to that country. And look at Rwanda now, Baba. People are going to visit Rwanda. People are going there for holiday, for tourism, and all of. They have wildlife. One of the best countries. If you are mentioning Tanzania, Namibia, Kenya, all those countries in terms of tourism, where wildlife, you go to their reserve forest, all those things. So we need someone like that in Nigeria. If a military guy, maybe from southeast, southwest, because I don't trust all those northerners. They are all the same. Only the one that is educated, I was trained outside of Nigeria, that's really maybe is a Christian or maybe he's not a Muslim. But once he's a Muslim and he belongs to that Fulani, forget him, they have their agenda right from time. You see, these people, they are the one they will put their children. Me, when I was in Nigeria back then, early 2000, 1999, I applied for NDA. I did all the exam, did everything. As a Southerner, they increase our own mark. Igbo too, they increase their mark, the Easterner. We still pass it, Baba, but Aboki from North, all these Hausa, they will tell them that, yes, they put them in. People that cannot use biro to write their own name. They cannot use pen. So he's worst to that level. So now that one won't come repair Nigeria.
So you remember that statement that this Nigeria, all of us in the southern parts, we are the victims of this fake Nigeria. Because
absolutely,
whose parents spent so much money to train. Now you had an ambition of becoming a soldier. You went through all the process, but quota system disqualified you. Now you are abroad doing something else. serving someone else's country, right?
Yeah.
When you are actually
Yeah.
supposed to have spent your youth, yeah, to
Absolutely.
your matured age in building
Yeah.
a country, contributing
Yeah.
genuinely. But quota system denied you that. And see, all of us,
Yeah.
we ended up in different countries, in Europe, America, where we're supposed to be on our land, in our land.
Exactly.
Making it great.
Exactly.
So we are the victims
Exactly.
of that quota system. We are the victims of one Nigeria. Southerners.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the way things are looking, Maegun, these northerners, these oligarch, they won't allow the breakup, they won't allow restructuring, anything that will bring stability.
That's what I'm
but
saying.
we don't need them.
See, if all of us in the South, if we have the right people, not weak men in charge,
exactly,
or leading us per se, right? We don't need these guys to break up.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately,
Absolutely.
those who are kind of like representing us, right? They are comfortable with the status quo.
They've sold their birthrights, Mayekun. Yeah. These people are the ones that sold Yoruba. They've sold the entire system. They are the one now bringing the agenda of Sharia, and we know what Sharia will do. I thank God for Kaka for Iba Gani Adams that came out, and a lot of people from abroad have been calling because me too. I've spent a lot of money. I know all these I have from Ondo, different Jagun, all these spiritual guys that when I go to Nigeria, I meet some of them. We talk, we give them money, we buy weapons, there are some things I don't need to be saying here. Yes, during Sunday 2021, 2020, during that time, I remember Mayekun that you were giving us a lot of updates 247. We told them not to be posting videos so that all these DSS, all these soldiers will just go, all these things. Don't post any video. We don't want any evidence. And when we go, just get it done, finish them. Absolutely. I know how many boys that we give money to, they do all these things. Baba, this one no be confirm. And when we go on ground too, when we go Nigeria, we just enter. Sometimes go Baba. Yes. Yeah, I have a lot of people that they are wanted in Nigeria today because they are against Baba. They see they enter Nigeria, they come outside, they pass Badagry, they enter from Ghana, Togo.
Thank you so much,
Baba. Thank you. Have a good night. Right. Thank you so much for your good job.
You are so
God bless
welcome.
you.
And stay safe, okay, Baba? You have a good one yourself.
And you too.
God bless you. See, there are things that we won't kind of like elaborate much more on this platform. But even though the level of coordination and then like the united front in combating these menace, right, is not as it was back in 2021, 2022. And we understand what happened, how people became sold out. And then now people kind of like decided to slow down as well, simply because a Yoruba man wants to be president. Now, that's kind of like a slowing down is costing us more now. But maybe when we continue to shine light on what is going on, a lot of us who slowed down or became disinterested will actually have to return back to the trenches. Here is Emoji. How are you, sir?
Fine, sir. My good evening, my brother.
You, Emoji.
My last scholar, he made all his submission was nice, but when he said that Nigeria is repairable, oh God, that's why I called in. I just wanted to watch and listen, because your program is very, very educative. When you're watching, you listen, you hear other people's, when people are calling in like this, but telling me that Nigeria is they will repair Nigeria, my brother.
It's only using, see, it's like speaking in third party. You get to say, wait, maybe if a Southerner who is a military, not democracy nonsense, right? Who is a dictator, takes over the place and deal with these rogues and that, right? To stabilize, maybe Nigeria stand a chance. But we all know that's not going to happen. But Emoji.
Nigeria doesn't have army anymore. Our army now is like, they are like supermarket, They don't have integrity anymore. Like that green is nothing anymore. Like the army I love so much, the army I've seen in Germany, the army I've seen in America. When people see army on the street, they are looking at them. You don't even see them on streets. Maybe on transit train station, only where you can see them on the. You see, so that we've lost that integrity in army. Army is now going for pipeline. Army is now waiting for oil well. When I see this army guy with always this pilot spec talking, he never lose on a paper. He never just be talking, reporting about recovering of 450 AK-47 with 1,500 live ammunition. He will be standing there. We know how that place works. How can he stand there and know everything that is happening in the whole Nigeria without a paper? No, he's not even reading it from the paper. So that means he just come and say something.
They are running a PR now. Army is doing PR. They are running gig on social media. Like Army, they pay people to say they have defeated this, they have killed that, and there is no evidence. So like they are paying people on social media to keep saying that.
Lies. My good, that thing is just like you know that maybe, for example, I'm in prison now. People know that I'm still in prison and they are still holding me. Some people will come out and say, I'm out. I'm somewhere relaxing now. These people will see something.
Tells you that I'm in prison, they are lying, you know. I am out. I'm enjoying myself somewhere.
Yeah. But that person is still in prison, dying there, you know. So this is what they are doing. And when you go to this civil servant, the same thing. People are there selling materials for works. In abroad, we all know that everybody that sits in every seat in any office have the right to decide something there on his head, because they know that he came there qualified. They put him there or her there qualified. So the only thing they would do, like for example, now the place I know very well in Germany now, any person sitting in any office have the right to this. This one is not when they bring the file, they will keep your file. Say, Oga is not there. Oga will sign the file when he comes back. Anybody in that office have the right to sign the file.
Exactly.
To sign that file, because he knows his works, and anything that comes out, they will tell you that the German will tell you, Zeba should, that is your self problem, that's your own problem, because you have to defend any report you brought in. But in Nigeria now, when you go to this civil servant now, they are all corrupt. From even people, some of us that are outside self, not even outside, like citizens of Nigeria, everybody is waiting for any little opportunity to steal from somebody, not even to steal from government, to steal from each citizen. You know, how can Nigeria work when
people, you know, like everybody's just waiting for their turn to take advantage of
so
one another.
The last hope of the country, which is the military, it's now like supermarket. How can that place work? Police may be corrupt, but army, that extent, because these people are the one defending the integrity of that state. You see that picture, that video you just posted now. The Kenyan girl was telling that girl, go and call your president. Can anybody tell American citizen or German citizen, go and call your president? They cannot, because they know everything that is going on. So when you come out, all this Nigeria going to work with this type of everybody, from a child even in the womb is now corrupt self in Nigeria. The way I'm seeing it, but there's no place, no institution, nothing is working their place. So the best thing is that when we divide it, we now it's just like sieving. You see,
everybody we can decide to come back together again. That's what we are saying.
Yes.
So you get now, like let the Hausas go their way, let the Yoruba go their way, let the Igbo go their way. Now, if it doesn't work for all of us, we can come together again, which is impossible. So you get
this thing we are talking about Hausa. This thing we are talking about Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba. For me, I'm not seeing Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba again. A lot of people have opened eye there, and we are more than 300 tribes in place. So now, if you are talking Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, we are teaching other people. They will not agree. It will be like South Sudan.
I get you.
It will be like South Sudan. People are opening their eyes now. Everybody want to, and the whole place in Nigeria have wanting like resources to generate money. So how can you tell me the Igbo and this, Hausa, this, Yoruba, this? No, people, there are still people inside those northern states that never believe that they are Hausas. There are still people that never believe that they are. So people are separated themselves already because of corruption. Everybody is now like, what am I doing here? Who I am here? I cannot go in. I cannot go out. I cannot be this. I cannot be that. Look at the north now. Another person that is not a Fulani man can never be a vice chancellor in Ahmadu Bello University. No matter what. Okay, now, okay. Secondly, 1 minute. Secondly, when you talk about these killings, these S-men killings now, all the politicians, they know the truth. Just that they are scared because they don't want to lose what they have stolen. That's the only thing. Because it's open now that these people are killing people deliberately, and army is defending them. Thank you, Mayegu.
Thank you so much, everybody. You have a wonderful evening. Bye. So thank you so much, everyone. Our time is now like fast spent. I always love to be very fair, you know. Calling time is 1 hour. So whenever I used more than my own time, then I always give it back. So now we have both overstretched it. Well, thank you anyway. I am going to see you tomorrow. However, I think it is... you know, we need to continue our readings. Tomorrow, there are choices of what we should read. All right. So we have added the Why We Struck. We've added the Blood on the Niger. So I've got this one written by, it's said to be written by Flora Shaw, by the way. A Tropical Dependency. An outline of the ancient history of the Western Sudan with an account of the modern settlement of northern Nigeria. So that's quite some read. So we can go for that. Or here is another one. The destruction of black civilization. Great issues of a race from 4500 BC to 2000 AD. Right, by Chancellor Williams. So here is one that is pretty much about the European journey to Africa and what have you, then the colonization. So we have had a piece of the white malice. We didn't finish it, unfortunately, we did not. So the white malice, which it's actually an incredible read as well, right? So we had to stop at chapter 21, the white malice. So tomorrow, God willing, we might have to try some new read, so to say. So I just thought I should say that beforehand. Anyone that is quite interesting, we can pick. Yeah, we've had a few reads here. We have the fatherless people. A fatherless people, which is that of Nigeria as well, all that happened during the whole, you know, independence and then the civil war, genocidal war. Anyway, thank you so much for your time, everyone, okay? Enjoy the rest of your evening. And hang on, I want to say good night from this side to this side. Good night. I'll see you again tomorrow.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari. gbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Máyégún dáyàrí náà ibi nọ́mbà wá. Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ dódódódó. Máyégún dáyàrí náà ibi nọ́mbà wá. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń gba rìbá. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. Kì máa yí ṣeré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣeré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́. Ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ̀lú ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o. Ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. bẹ́ni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.